seconds left. Have the glass. What if he goes out? Able to find one at Axe Run with the next 3 down. Ah, 4-2. Oh, another slam. Special. Beep. Yes! I mean, they have to go for him and push him. Oh.
That pistol didn't work out.
Pushing up on the door. Oh, but coming out from behind. He's in the crawl. Oh, left trying to fight his demons here on the shield. Just a little bit of whipping going on. 1 HP. Ooh, but now I'm the warden. Oh! Got the breach. I thought he did the second thing. Oh, 2v2. 10 seconds left. Have the glass. What if he goes out? Able to find one at Axe Run with them here. That's 3 down. It's the replay. Yeah.
Star 6, here's my partner in crime piercings. I'm Osiris, and we'll be casting your game today.
How's it going, everyone? I'm so excited to finally start off the season on Midwest R6. I hope everyone is doing great. I was rushing in to get started with today's game, and I bet everyone else here was as well, as I think we're going to have a great game tonight. And with that being said, Osiris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How's that bicep pump you got from the gym?
Oh, it is doing absolutely fantastic. Hitting the gym has been laborious, but very much worth it. Hit a 3-hour workout yesterday, really trying to get the gains and keep myself on a dedicated routine.
3 hours, man. Nah, some people can't even do 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just built different. All right, now let's get into today's teams.
Alrighty, we have UIC versus Western Michigan. Why don't you give us the players for Western Michigan?
All right. And for the first team, actually, we'll be covering Western Michigan. First team is going to be our players, Chippy, Sir Dexy, Slinky, Dingley Parrot. Sorry if I said that wrong. And Arms Tina. And then for UIC,
we got Luckshot, Swordfish, Cosmo, and we got Basher, and it's Taco. No stats today.
Sortish. But yeah, with that being said, now onto the map bans.
Alrighty. We got pretty interesting map bans today. What do you think?
So, right now, from what I'm seeing with the current map bans, UIC has went for a lot of the more unpopular bans, getting rid of Border, Bank, and I think that is going to give Western Michigan a little bit more control on the bans that they had. However, Western Michigan's bans were a little bit more on the unpopular side as well, except for Villa. But honestly, they also banned Cafe as well. So I think it's about 50-50. I don't really think either team had particular control over the maps, since generally what you want to do is you want to ban the more popular maps out the gate in order to put the other team on the pressure to ban the less popular maps that they're not capable of or very well playing when it comes to strats, in order to get and kind of throttle that control onto a map that you want. But it doesn't look like that really happened all too much, and I have a feeling that Skyscraper is a map that both teams might be struggling with. So with that being said, now let's see what our votes are and what the community has said about who will be winning the matches. So looks like so far the staff and the Twitter polls from our Midwest R6 community have said, for the most part, Western Michigan. And I voted for them as well, but the reason being is that Western Michigan, they're a team that I've recognized from the past. However, UIC, I'm not too familiar with them. So for me, at least, with the lack of statistics at the moment, it just comes down to familiarity. Will that be enough? It's honestly hard to say.
Now, forgive me if I'm wrong here, but Western Michigan has a larger player pool to select from, don't they?
I would say so, honestly. I think they definitely have a have more players to choose from, and that's going to be really important as esports tends to be a bit smaller depending on the type of school and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, generally a bigger pool of students coming to your university is going to definitely help to open up how many players, that's going to be an option for tryout to pick out truly the best players for your varsity, in my opinion, at least.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, but tell me, Silas, you said this is your first cast, right?
This is my first casting day. I'm glad to be here. It's glad to participate in Midwest R6 again after not returning for playing. But I don't know. I'm super hyped for this because I've never casted before, never been here, but it gives me a unique perspective on the game that I'm sure I'm going to appreciate.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. From my experience in casting, you definitely see some things that you would not otherwise see unless you're VOD reviewing, because you can see everything from VOD reviewing. But if you aren't in the habit of VOD reviewing, especially VOD reviewing like, competitive games, this is definitely something that can be pretty helpful. Excuse me. But yeah, so Osiris will be color casting for us tonight, and I will be our resolute shoutcaster for tonight. We got 3 BO1s going on, and it looks like we are ready to go soon. So we may be starting off in just a moment.
Both teams looking like they're anxious to get their guns out and get ready to set up and play.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm just excited the fact that we are playing on Skyscraper because I don't see that map a lot in competitive or in ranked. It's not a map that we really get an opportunity to see a lot outside of maybe scrims. Back when I played with Bradley University Esports, which was in last season, I we actually did run a decent amount of strats on Skyscraper, although our success with it was about 50-50, but we did know our stuff, and honestly, I really enjoyed it. It's one of the maps I more or less looked forward to, even though the map could be a little bit frustrating on attack, especially with all the different levels and the rappelling to get in. It can be frustrating at times. However, once you start to learn it, I think there's a special charm to it that not a lot of other maps have, but maybe that's just me.
It's a far more vertical map, especially with the soft floors in Geisha Tea Room, and you look down through the drum hallway. You have that big vertical hall you can just drop straight through. It engages in some play that you don't see through very many other maps.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing that you have to kind of balance as well. It is really hard as an attacker to take a site on Skyscraper if you are not, one, getting control of Vert, and two, pushing back lurkers. Either one in excess can cause a lot of issues. Because usually, you deal with Vert by isolating for horizontal if you don't want to deal with Vert, or you deal with lurkers or anyone who is on site by getting Vert. But really, Skyscraper is one of those unique maps where, excuse me, you can't really just do one or do the other. It is very easy to collapse on a team just by the vertical or by the roam presence alone. So you have to kind of get a balance. Otherwise, you're not going to make much progress. It is going to be a disaster unless the defense strats just aren't up to par, maybe not practiced. But, and again, that just really comes down to kind of just bum rushing it down. And honestly, that's not really going to say much, as any team with a substantial skill difference can do that.
Looks like
All
we're
right.
starting here real quick. Both teams itching to get in.
All right. And now we're going to be on to the first game for the night. Good luck and have fun, everybody. Silas, what do you think we're going to see for our first bans?
I'm feeling like we're gonna get some roamer bands going off here. We might see a Dokebi band pop up. We might see a Lion band pop up, but I don't think it's going to be very default. in my opinion. I might be proven wrong here in just a second with an OSA ban.
Yeah, Osa is pretty, I would say honestly, a standard ban. I remember her being shown as situational over the last few seasons, but she's really come up on top, especially when it comes to map bans. And we will actually see a more standard streamlined bans as Western Michigan will come out with Jackal, UIC on Osa, and now a Solus ban.
There's that roamer.
Interestingly enough, I was actually talking with a player who's had Challenger League experience, and he actually told me that Solus isn't really that good because there are a lot of ways to bait her by, getting on drones and then popping off when she gets off of her little thing, or dropping diffuser. Apparently, if you drop the diffuser, not plant, but drop it, they can spot that, and you can bait her into thinking that that is a plant when it's not, and then wait for, like, an impact or something, and then swing from the vert. So
that's a super interesting strategy. I've never heard of that before.
No, neither have I, but just a point to think of, for these teams, as they tend to ban Solus quite a lot.
Defenders going T-Room and Karaoke right away. Coming through Dragon, actually. Going over to the offsite, making sure to reinforce those outside walls.
Yep. That is going to be really important, is to hold on to that single wall. That is a very common move from attack, is to go for a second floor horizontal and start off in Samurai, but it doesn't look... But that reinforcement will at least help to stall that, and we will see a shield setup over into Drum. A fairly common default setup. I'm curious whether UIC has a specific strat in mind for this site, as there's a lot of different ways to play it, especially with the positioning of the soft walls. It's not as clear cut and dry as you would see on other maps such as Clubhouse. And now the action phase starting. Western Michigan going to be pushing out now with Slinky over in... I'm sorry, these calls are going to be a little bit rough for me. Spawning east side on the rappel. Looks like we will see that horizontal take. Slinky already starting to make his way onto the office bow. Lion as well, Chippy watching the terrace double window. However, Alibi, Luckshot already holding out into lounge and will get pinged by one of the fake Alibi clones. Ash holding close to cut off Luckshot, but Alibi is not going to be playing too aggressive. However, we do see that there is going to be another one helping to hold Samurai as well, and that will be Azami. Western Michigan having already 4 onto the Baux. Dingley's Parrot will spot 2 from Samurai. They now know where the defense is. Ace coming out as well as the Lion charge. However, it's not going to really connect. A minute passed so far. No gunfights at the moment. Now the impact possibly going to come out. Another drone hit, and that's going to be a little bit utility loss for West Michigan as UIC begins to fall back. A minute and a half, and they haven't even really made their way onto, but now we will see the hop in. Arms, Tina, and Ash will push up to Exhibition. Nomad Yana following closely behind with a Yana clone, and there comes the push up. However, Luckshot is still holding below. That room could really do some damage. Cosmo taking Sir Dexy, and that's going to be the first pick. Slinky looking to see another to even out the numbers, but it's not going to happen. Smoke holding. Coulson's going to catch Slinky, and that will be Cosmo for a second kill. And now it is a 5v3 with barely any sight and setup. Western Michigan is going to have to start getting those walls down, maybe even start getting some picks. Dingley Parrot rotating out, almost getting caught by somebody, but Basher will not catch Ash, playing a bit safe. Cosmo now going to be up the black stairs, and Dingley Parrot will take Basher, evening out the numbers just a little bit. Now Yana backing up into Dragon. That's going to be Dingley Parrot. Nade going to come out, but it's going to back and bounce. Almost killing her, but she'll still live. Another nade coming out. That's not going to connect. However, Luckshot is still holding below. This could be a huge issue. I'm sorry, Swordfish, who is now... Actually, no, that is going to be Luckshot, with Swordfish holding the top main stairs as well. 13 seconds left. They're going to have to push through or figure something out because they are stuck. It's Taco taking Chippy, Arms, Tina taking Cosmo. Now the plant's actually going out, but Luckshot with the roam. Finally back up over to Shrine and going to take 2 and finish out that last-ditch attack effort. And that will be the first round for UIC.
That was actually some very interesting plays from UIC. They held the horizontal push very, very well in the beginning, taking the office site and the kitchen site, just kind of letting them waste bullets as they pressured in. The Dragon Drum's hallway secure was actually very influential in that round. And I would like to see what they do with that particular position again in this round.
Yeah, no, they definitely stalled a massive amount of time from Western Michigan. And even when they got that control, the clock was really ticking, which allowed Cosmo to throw those smokes and get that impact, and preventing them from really pushing up onto the door, forcing them to funnel through breach where Longshot was on the roam to finish the job. This is what I mean, everybody, when I say that it's very difficult to deal with a roam and a vert at the same time. Well, granted, it wasn't really a vert. It was more Longshot just waiting for the execute from below, but I mean, I would still consider that a vert kind of situation. You want to have someone clear out below and then have a main group push horizontal, or get control below so you can nade or sledge above or do whatever kind of vert damage you want to do. However, we didn't see that, and the consequences was Luckshot ran up and took to finalizing the shutdown of the execute. Yana gonna be over in the game, or the party, I'm sorry, karaoke Repel joining out for herself. Not gonna see one and gonna miss one over on Black Stairs. And Luckshot over in Geisha is gonna catch one. Oh, but the wall bang from Dingley Parrot will take Luckshot out. A drastic change from what happened last round. Valkyrie looking to push up to help stall for time as well, but will get caught by the Lion Scan. A minute left, one already down. Western starting to make some good progress onto Samurai as Dingley Parrot will now push up to T-Room, and Slinky will take Basher, and that is going to be effectively a lot of the horizontal push out of the way, but UIC is still putting more up there to try to deny Smoke over in Dragon. Lion Call, and now will fall back, and Chippy will take Swordish, and now it's a 2v5 as there's effectively not a lot left for the anchor. However, Cosmo has now rotated back into VIP entrance. However, still holding close, a bit aggressive. See if he can potentially catch one. Crosses. Dingley Parrot, it's not going to connect, but Cosmo will be down, and now it is a 1v5 from It's Taco, who is over in Lounge. But that's not going to be where they push from. Dingley Parrot going to catch Cosmo, finish him off with the nade. Line scan coming out. The thermite charge to open up the office wall. A minute left. It's Taco is not in a great situation. And, oh, the sights are going to block off his visibility as Lion just walks through the door, and It's Taco is just not going to see him as he's crouched. That is so unfortunate. Kind of one of the flaws of using Hollow as your site of choice.
What an amazing play from WMU there. We got very influential first round kills on excuse me. We got very early kills on Luckshot and a kill in Dragon from on Basher. Swordish's death from that Dragon point that they took from taking those early picks was very influential in the rest of the game. As you can see, they had no defense after those three people just were wiped clean off the slate.
Yeah, no, they definitely overextended, and especially with losing that many people with that much time left and the severe man advantage, that was not really good. Because really, what UIC had to deal with was just a spiraling case.
They're playing some juking games over there.
Yeah, in which UIC effectively had to get aggressive to even out the numbers and stall for time, but as they kept doing that, they lost more and more lives, resulting in a down spiral situation in which there was only one person left before Western Michigan even stepped onto site. So not the situation you want to be in, but understandable why they would aggress the way they did. I absolutely agree on Western Michigan's roam clear, pretty much serving out the punches for the round before the execute even came in.
You could see that, especially when they pinned Cosmo all the way in the dining room. He just was stuck. There's nothing that he could do.
Yeah, for sure. I do say that it's interesting that Basher is going to be holding from below and watch the window. I don't know if Yana spotted that, but if that repel comes in, that could be already an early pick. And there comes the repel, but Basher's going to hold too close to the window, and it's not going to connect. Basher trying to throw a nitro, but Slinky comes down and will take that pick already. Dingley Parrott getting swordish as well, and now it's already 3v5. Chippy taking a lion call. It's not going to catch anyone. However, they don't need to, and now Luckshot is already taking some damage, trying to engage, get a bit of control, even out the numbers from Dragon, but Western Michigan is holding this a bit more safe, a bit more passive, and just waiting for them to overextend as they have the man advantage with 1 minute 35 seconds, and they're already starting to collapse onto Samurai. However, another smoke canister will come out, but Ash will be able to push all the way onto Balk. A Yana clone coming on the way, and will get shot out by Luckshot over in T, who has a teammate with. And now here comes the flashes. There comes the Lion. And we see a push real soon, and Slinky will take a bit of damage, a little bit more. Luckshot taking no damage. They are stalling UIC, but another flash comes in, and now we see 3, a nade, and Slinky will get caught, or Luckshot will get caught as he has to rotate out. And now Cosmo will take Slinky from the VIP angle as Slinky was just not watching VIP. And now with 50 seconds left, all the smoke canisters used. Now comes the execute, the lion scan, the thermite wall getting open, a flash coming in, and Arms Tina will take its taco, Lion, and that will be the round as Dinkley Parrott will take Cosmo as a round, just sweeping in and pretty much taking every pick necessary. We have not seen a plant so far.
Very masterful plays there from WMU, really taking the round with those early picks once again. You know, misplay from Basher maybe at the beginning from holding underneath, knowing whether or not he was supposed to be able to hit those early shots and that repel in, and then gets caught on the off angle as an attacker rotates in and cuts him off directly. Those other kills on Swordish also taking the round from him.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure. And one thing I will say for sure, or if you ask me, I don't like holding up from below like that with a little pea shooter like the MPX, especially when you have a nitro. When you know that there's a miss drone, or at least the person's gonna be repelling it. At that point, when I heard that cue, because you could hear it from below, I would have just prepped the nitro, prone in case someone was gonna swing on me, in case I got caught on drone, because she was fixated on that vert below, which means that someone could have possibly swept the drone in and spot him, which I think is actually what happened as Slinky knocked him out. And I would just throw the nitro, prone, hit it, and then, you know, peek the door, see if maybe I'm getting swung. And honestly, that would have been 2K right there, but instead it was a 0K and an early pick for Western Michigan. And now we're going to see UIC back onto T-Room, but Western Michigan looking to do a seemingly more direct take, as there are going to be 2 on UIC east side, and they're going to still be holding there as Western Michigan starts to push up with 1 in Black Stairs balcony. And now with Nomad over on Geisha side, the wall already getting open. That will be the Geisha single by Arms Tina, with a minute left, we haven't seen any lives lost yet, and I don't think UIC is really adapting the roam, as there's still two heavy southeast side, which I don't think is a play. And now Chippy coming with a lion scan is going to be rotating. And honestly, it looks that Western Michigan is going to need to start getting some feet in with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. However, since they're doing a direct, they do have a bit more time. And there comes the hop. The swing from its taco will take Surdexy. However, Armstina will push the single, get the refrag. Slinky taking Basher. And there comes some of the execute, as it's now 3-4 with the Western Michigan on a man advantage. Well, I say execute, but I mean the initial take onto Geisha, which they will secure, and they have control of top black stairs as well. Western Michigan University has the ability to plant, and they will as the smoke comes. The zombie tries to rotate, but will get caught by Chippy. Armstina planting over in party room, or I'm sorry, karaoke, I don't know why I keep calling it party room. And now the plant is down with 40 seconds left, a 2v4, and Luckshot will take heavy damage from Dingley Parrot as he gets caught trying to rotate back in. Cosma throwing in a smoke to try to get a flank in. Is he gonna possibly catch one? No, he's gonna watch him rotate, and Armstina will take that, who is holding over in Geisha. However, Luckshot will get some damage onto Armstina with 20 seconds left. Luckshot's gonna have to get really aggressive here. However, a little bit of pre-firing, not gonna connect, and Dingley Parrot will swing the rotate, finishing out the round. Western Michigan taking that next attack round.
That early opening of Geisha Wall and those refrags as they took it really solidified the victory there for them. It allowed them to take the angles they needed in order to secure the plant, as well as opened up new angles from which to actually use karaoke room. You could see some very influential kills coming through from T-Room as they rotated back through Dragon. Just almost flawless take there.
No, and that's the thing is, even if you die, right? Like we saw one die over in Geisha, that would be Surdexy from the hop-in into Geisha. However, okay, I don't know what's going on with Cosmo opening up an entire bathroom hall. Is this a new strat that I haven't seen before? But with that, other than that, what I was saying, Western Michigan University, even though they lost one, Armstina pushed up the Geisha single, taking the refrag, and that gave him Geisha control. Because remember, it's not necessarily a bad thing to die on an initial entry if you have someone get the refrag and get the control. Because remember, effectively the goal of defense is to deny entry and to deny getting the plant and run them out of time. So that's why getting a refrag, depending on the room that you got control of in the process, that's usually an advantage for the attackers. You know, if you take a gunfight in sight and you get a refrag, but there's no one else on site, you just got control of sight. That refrag, your death had a lot of impact, and we saw that impact really come into play as Armstina pushed up from that Geisha control to get the plant down, winning Western Michigan another round. And now the office wall already getting open early. Swordish on the Frost. First Lion scan going out. I'm surprised that the wall's gonna open that early, but UIC does not have any wall denial, which definitely makes the situation not the best for UIC. Let's see, Cosmo holding from execution. Luckshot taking one on Slinky and on the roam. Vigil scan to help push off any roam clear. And now another lion scan from Chippy, and it is gonna be a 5v4 with no really in-building presence from Western Michigan except for Armstina, who just walks in, but the shield is gonna cover Cosmo and take him out, and that will be another one down and effectively eliminating that in-building presence. However, Dingley Parrot will take one and hop in from Samurai and is gonna take a double kill, getting rid of Cosmo. And now it is a 3v3 with Surdexy in as well. However, no one has diffuser. Oh, but one will get caught. Dingley Parrot will get caught. And now it is a 2v3. Luckshot finishing off Dingley Parrot. And now it is up to Chippy and Surdexy to get the plant down. However, Luckshot is going to catch Surdexy, but will not be able to take the shot on. The default cam going to spot the Surdexy on a swing, but he will take that fight and now has diffuser. 1v2, it is up to its Taco to deny the plant as they look to move below. However, with not much wall setup, it's gonna be a funnel to get in. 45 seconds left. Chippy and Sir Dexy have the time, but I don't think they spotted where he is. And Castle will try to get aggressive. It's Taco, but Chippy will catch him. And that will be another round for Western Michigan. And I believe, correct me if I'm not wrong. Oh, okay. One more round until the swap. Western Michigan 4, UIC 1.
That no use of wall defense might have been a misplay there. They just were allowed for a new take directly from the upstairs site, and honestly, they didn't take like that ever before in this game. So it was completely unpredictable. There was a Marastina misplay as they just walked in and expected to get a kill. They were very punished for being out of position, and the Dangly Parrot 2K really pulled it back in, leaving it's Taco to defend, actually. And this has happened several times. I wonder how many more times we're going to see this throughout the game.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't matter who is going to be the last one to try to clutch it out. If you're not in a good setup, it's not going to really matter. However, now, with an extension over into Office, we'll see what kind of impact that is going to have. Because right now, ever since the first round, UIC has not been able to secure a single round. And remember, Skyscraper is considered a pretty solidly defender-sided map. So that is going to put them on the spot if they cannot at least take this one round to try to even things out. We're going to see one rotate down over to bottom black stairs, possibly hold for a early push into bathroom window. However, Western Michigan will not be playing from there. Instead, opting to get the Geisha single once again, and we'll see Cosmo rotate over to Geisha as well. I believe that is Cosmo. And the Nitro, actually, that's going to be its Taco throwing a Nitro. However, it will not catch someone. Sortish throwing an impact to watch the single. This is going to be a much different situation for UIC to help, because now if that single swing comes in like we saw before, that's going to be a double kill and no Geisha control, which is much different than a refrag and Geisha control. So that will be a much better situation. However, Sortish is not actively watching that hole at the moment, so that could cause some problems. However, I will now move back up, and now we're going to see the push pretty soon as Lion, Nomad, and Thermite are there. Oh, but the hold below will be spotted. So there is opportunity to adapt to that situation and single out it's Taco from Geisha. Cosmo holding the rotate, the Lion scan going out. Arms Tina and Lion and Nomad trying to push up. And now we will see a man advantage with Sir Dexy taking its Taco. And now they have Geisha control. That's going to change things dramatically as Swordfish now tries to take a gunfight with the Dangly Parrot and will get it. And that's going to even out the numbers as Swordfish looks to hold bottom main stairs to help contest the Geisha push. However, Sir Dexy is holding very close to T-Room, and Slinky is going to TK Chippy. Sortish taking Arms Tina. What just happened with the TK? However, 50 seconds left. No time to think about that. You guys have got to push up. Oh, but that's going to be the Geisha control effectively gone as Slinky is all alone to push up Terrace. However, Sir Dexy is just going to force a gunfight, taking Sortish, and Slinky will take Luck Shot, and that TK doesn't matter as it's now a 2v2. 30 seconds. Sorry, Sir Dexy was over in Geisha the whole time and now has that ability to really meet up with Slinky for an execute. However, keep in mind Sir Dexy does have the diffuser, so if Sir Dexy gets picked off, that's going to be round. The default is still up, and it's going to ping Nomad, but ping both of them, and it hasn't been shot out. And now the Asher charge will come out, and wall gets open. Basher taking Sir Dexy off of that breach, and now with 4 seconds left, Slinky is going to take one, and is he going to plant? No. Slinky is going to try to aggress to take Jaeger, but will run out of time. The sad thing is that default got pinged as well, and just didn't get shot out until it was way too late.
Heartbreaking loss there for Western Michigan University. Honest to God, the TK might have sold the round there. Swordish's lack of awareness was not capitalized on, and he was allowed to stay downstairs while the entirety of the other team was sitting upstairs, already in Geisha, already taking critical points of the map, while Swordish was lurking around. Slinky and Sir Dexy really tried their best to pull it back there, but were kind of cut out of the game as I think it was Sir Dexy was picked off. Remind me if I'm wrong.
I believe that would be correct. But yeah, honestly, the TK definitely caused some problems, but I think the bigger issue would be the Wamai. I don't remember who that was. Wamai being able to take that gunfight against the Yana from bottom main stairs and having the ability to just contest Geisha from that point the whole time caused, you know, that Geisha control to go from a major advantage to a major problem, and they just could not get around that, as Nomad inevitably rotating out to meet up with Slinky. That will be Serdexy, but unfortunately dying on the execute as a default spotted them exactly what they were doing, what their execute plan was, and where they were. And with that little time and with that little options, having them know exactly which of those choices you're gonna make is pretty devastating. However, UIC already, or Luckshot already pushed up, going for a Dekebi call. We do have one black stairs. Not sure if that's going to spot sound-wise. However, the drone will spot Thorn, who is pushing up to get rid of the drone, but Dingley Parrot will fall back. Probably the better move, and now we are going to see the first gunfight on the swap as Thorn swings, and Luckshot will take it, bringing it to 5v4 within a minute of the round. We will have a shield over in Karaoke, watching the top black stairs, which I think honestly is really smart, especially with the head height holes from Chippy. However, there's going to be one on Repel to contest the Karaoke, and now he'll just simply push up onto the shield in the hole to be protected from Karaoke. A little bit attempted wall banging. However, Cosmo potentially catching his own teammate is not going to see one yet. They know that there is one on Repel, and Flores is not going to be able to take out that shield as he is tucked back and will get off the Repel. The Thatcher, or I'm sorry, the Impact coming in from Luckshot to try to get rid of anything that might be blocking the shield, and the Gon 6, multiple flashes coming out. Basher going to get down by Slinky. A smoke comes in as well, and now Dekebi looks to hack the cams, which she will get it, and that is going to grant a lot of additional intel on Western Michigan, as they still have the default cam from Terra still up, if I'm not mistaken. 1 minute left. West Michigan still has a lot of the in-building control, but that could change really fast as Cosmo sends out some Floreses, try to take out some utility, and that is gonna blow open a rotate over to Karaoke. Another Flores room coming in, but Armsteiner will catch it. 35 seconds left, and there was 3 top black boxes. They're gonna push, they need to push it. However, you know, there's still one Luckshot over bottom black stairs. That's gonna be their whole push, and now the smoke canister coming out, that's gonna be the last one. So that's gonna give them about 20 seconds to push up. Ash Charge is gonna do a little bit of damage to Sir Dexy, but not much. And now one's gonna rotate. Luckshot catching Armsteiner. Here comes the execute. Flash going down. Plant hasn't started yet. Thermite popping open the wall, and now we see the run-in into Karaoke. It's Taco doesn't know that there's one close with the shotgun. The Nitro going out. It's not going to connect, and now the plant goes down, but was he able to plant? What just happened there? No, he's going to get shotgunned by Mutant downed, and that will be the round. You got to have cover for Karaoke. He was just able to sit there and wait for the plant to go down. A very good move on Western Michigan's end.
The joining with Luckshot really secured an early lead for UIC. However, you can see that lead fall off as Slinky takes back a kill. The intel from Dokebi playing a critical part, however, not securing the win.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I mean, UIC was able to see a pick earlier on. However, the problem that USC had was they really didn't have much setup, and they were kind of funneled. Plus, you had a Thermite trying to rotate over to get the wall, which forced time, and they just did not have full karaoke control, and that intel gap pretty much made a lot of issues. Plus, the position that they were in, UIC, which was pretty much compromised by T, made it difficult to watch the rotate in case someone swung out with the shoddy, which is exactly what happened, or wrapped around to kill Diffuser. Although, I believe, did he have smokes? He may not have had smokes, but either way, just, no, Itaco had flashes, I think, yeah. So, very unfortunate situation. However, there's still time to turn it around, and we'll see if UIC can take it. Alright, and now UIC is gonna be going what seems to be now Samurai side as they repel to second floor. One over in office from Western Michigan that can stall for time, but Sordish waiting to get the wall open from Itaco. Is he gonna rotate out? Possibly just holding the repel. I'm not seeing too much so far, even though it is just Slinky over in Samurai. However, Basher is sneaking up from T-Room. I don't think Western Michigan has any clue that Basher's even there. If he just plays this very patiently, I was going to say he could have taken one easily. However, he will give away the position by opening up the barricade. Chippy unable to take the drone, who is using the FMG-9. Now, that is not something you see as often anymore, as controlling the SMG-11 isn't as bad as it used to be, or at least not as bad in comparison to the other tactical weapons, which have had significantly more recoil. So the negative is not as much, but Sordish will take the first pick onto Arms Tina. And now with the wall being open, UIC is going to start to get that control. However, Mujam is going to catch Sordish. It's Taco taking Chippy, and now Sordish is over in Shrine. And now it's just a matter of time before the exit comes out. Sordish dealing some heavy damage onto Dingley Parrot, who's still holding close to the door, going to try to go for a wall bang. However, is going to get almost caught by Sordish, who is holding close up onto Shrine, but is not going to quite connect. Cosmo taking Sir Dexy, now down to a 5v2. Slinky holding a very close angle, and Sordish taking Dingley, and now it is a 5v1 as the exit comes out. The flashes, but Slinky's just not going to be able to down one, and is going to rotate blind, but Cosmo will catch him from house stairs, and that will be, honestly, I think, is that the first round that they have won since the first round? Sorry, that would be the second round. Now 3 and 5.
Basher giving away the sneaky flank, actually throwing away a play they could have made. However, Smoke with the FMG-9 was actually an interesting play there. We did not see it work out very well. The pick from Swordfish and Taco really taking Dragon, allowing the pressure to come in through different angles. The securing further kills, taking people out through systematic, taking one-on-ones and stuff like that.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, Western Michigan just did not really contest UIC on their execute and their setup as much as they needed to, and they lost 2 early on, which definitely was not something that you want to see, and that just gave UIC a lot of free momentum to take that attack round. You know, someone actually mentioned attacker-sided map, but it's starting to look like it, as the vast majority of these round wins so far has came from attack, but maybe Western Michigan can change that up a little bit. But yeah, looks like defending this is going to be a lot more difficult as, defending is a lot more difficult as both teams have been racking up a lot of attack round wins rather than defense. Doesn't seem like that's so much of a team-to-team thing, but just rather maybe the map has changed in how people play it. I don't know. And Luckshot already in bathroom, gonna catch Chippy, throwing a bar, but will not push up from desk. Honestly, these lurks from UIC is gonna do a lot of damage, as Western Michigan just is not ready and just cannot catch them. So honestly, that is going to be what will make the difference in getting a lot more attack rounds for UIC, in my opinion. Because when you lurk like that, and you do that to contest a horizontal rather than just pushing up, and then inevitably getting swung from an angle you're not covering, it really makes it difficult for Western Michigan to roam effectively and have Vert and it also helps to cover your teammates who are dealing the horizontal, which is the actual main objective. So I mean, that is gonna do a lot of work for Luckshot as long as UIC plays this right. Sordish holding very close onto Shrine door, already doing a bit of pre-fire, gonna give away the position, however will not catch anybody. And now we have Basher outside of the Shrine balcony, but there will be a Ruining Gate and one on Black Stairs, which will be caught. Good intel, as Black Stairs, usually you're not going to see someone rotate out. They'll stay there, and if they try to rotate, you can typically catch them. So that is one constant for UIC to work with, a bit of pre-firing shots that will not connect, as Dingley Parrot is going to hold this a little bit passive. Now Sordish looking to try to walk in. However, there's going to be one holding close with the shotty. The nitro comes out, and that's going to take Serdexy, who is holding close. Sordish swinging, but it's going to get popped by Serdexy. Dingley Parrot taking Basher as well from the stairs, and now it is already a 2v5 as the vert control falls apart. Cosmo throwing a flash. However, he is not going to be able to see a pick for it, and now has to make a decision. Do we rotate, or do we try to still get control from above? Luckshot taking multiple fights from multiple. Pulls out the gun 6. He gets caught and taken out by Chippy. Cosmo's going to swing to see if he can make progress, but Serdexy is going to hold T-Room like a champ and finish that out. And that will be Western Michigan's defense round.
What a good showing of Western Michigan's confidence there. They even allowed UIC to take a bunch of free real estate in the beginning, only to punish them as they went out of position. The mute coming in to deny the wall secure, as they placed multiple hard breaches on Dragon Drum wall, and none of them could get through. The Flores trying to come through and get some of that off was absolutely useless. Just shut down as they tried to pressure in.
Yeah, no, the Nitro was really unfortunate as well. They didn't really have an identity on who was holding T, and that just backfired dramatically.
You could see Thermite.
The shotgun did the damage.
Yeah, you could see Thermite actually stare directly at the Nitro, almost like he was at a loss for words as he saw it land at his feet. You know, and then he just got... There's multiple instances where the mute can just turn the corner and just pump people in the face, securing the victory.
I mean, come on, that's like the most iconic part of Siege, is holding close with a shotty. Honestly, I'm surprised that we haven't had a shotgun meta, but, or at least as of recent, but maybe that will change. I'm not saying that it's definitely going to, but it's definitely going to.
We're actually seeing some pro play here with the TCSG and some other longer range shotguns finding their place with different operators.
No, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, I personally run the TCSG on Goyo and Cade, and I absolutely love it. I would not want it any other way. With that being said, Western Michigan will now be holding T-Room and Karaoke, and we're going to see a similar execute from UIC that Western Michigan tried to, or was pulling, trying to get that Geisha control with Lion and Zoe. However, the wall is reinforced, so I don't know how you're going to deal with that, but looks like it's Taco will be rotating over to help deal with that situation. Does Serdexy have a mute jammer on the wall? Because if he does, that is going to pose a substantial challenge, as UIC will have to come from below, and it looks like they do. They do? I can't tell what that little square is. Oh, he does, yeah. There is going to be a mute jammer, so with that being said, it's Taco is going to be able to get the wall as the impact comes out, and now that is going to be an opportunity to get Geisha control. However, that rotate is going to cost a lot of time, as now there's 1 minute and 35 seconds, and it is up to Sordish and it's Taco to try to take Geisha. Serdexy will be spotted, but
we have
free fire shots coming out.
It's Taco running flashes instead of smokes, allowing that rotate to play an influential role in whether or not they actually get into Geisha there.
No, for sure. We'll see. It's, yeah, not really sure what they're going to be doing. However, that will give a good opportunity to push up. However, they have not done that yet. Still droning, the line scan coming. Sordish gonna be sneaking up main, which could potentially do a lot of damage. However, he will get caught by Chippy, and Slinky and Sir Dexy taking 2. Bastardist Taco now down, and now it is up to Luckshot and Cosmo from top black stairs, with Cosmo getting canistered out. The rotate being full reinforced over in Karaoke, which you don't see every day, but in this case, that is gonna cause Ash a lot of problems, as Luckshot just can't walk in to Karaoke. 30 seconds left. They are very funneled, and there are a lot of crossfires here. It's going to make things very difficult for them to get that control, but if they could just single out one and block out the others, that will be their way in. However, Cosmo having an EMP, going to EMP something, I think, by accident, and now the smoke coming, and Luckshot's going to be completely blind. Pre-firing, try to take one, but Luckshot will actually connect on to one in T. 5 seconds left. One Nitro goes out. If they're going to take this, they need to run up and plant, but they're not going to be able to, as Luckshot will get taken out, and Grid is going to have to play passive, and that will be the first game, with Western Michigan taking it.
Absolutely great game there. Saw dominance from Western Michigan University, taking very confident plays as they basically dominated the entire game. It was very interesting to see some of these power plays from them.
No, for sure. I mean, we did see a little bit back and forth after the round swap. However, unfortunately, that just was not going to be enough, as Western Michigan was not only just better on attack, they were also able to finish it out when they swapped to defense. I mean, we did see a bit of momentum. Like, USC definitely had the potential there, but they got stuck up on T-Room, and that's going to seal their fate for placements, as Western Michigan will win their first game. And now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a short break as we start to move on to the second game.
Absolute pleasure casting with you today. I know I could have done a little bit better, but I feel a little bit proud of myself for trying out. Have a nice day and a wonderful evening.
or fill out your interest form located in the Midwest R6 Discord server.
He's halfway.
All right, and I am back. Welcome back to Midwest R6. My name is Piercing, and we actually have a new caster. Everyone, welcome Lucas. Lucas, how are you doing today?
What's up? I am doing fine. It's been a busy day, but I can't wait to relax and see some good Siege gameplay.
Heck yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been a bit busy myself. I've been training for my new job, which has been going pretty well. All right, and now to introduce the next team, the next set of teams, we are going to be playing LNI Orange versus TRINE Esports. And as far as the players go, we will have LNI Esports with Lawyer, Nanovirus, Cow Esports, and a name that I'm all too familiar with, Snail, but maybe not the Snail that I'm thinking of. And then for TRINE Esports, we will have Squirrely, Kairos Mars, Minamuma, Rob, and Marquini. And then for the map bans, we are going to be we will be playing Chalet. Now, tell me, what do you think of the map bans, Lucas? What do you think here? What are you seeing?
In all honesty, I'm kind of liking it. My old Siege team, Chalet, was honestly our best map, at least attacking wise.
Yeah.
So I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a much more popular map. I do agree with you there. As far as the map ban control goes, honestly, I think that's going to go to TRINE Esports, as they were very aggressive on banning popular maps. They got rid of Clubhouse, Border, Oregon, Cafe, and I feel like that put LNI on the spot, as they banned Bank, Theme Park, Sky, and Villa, resulting in them, I think, getting their map of choice, which is Chalet. Because like I said, if you are not banning the more unpopular maps, you are putting yourself, or you're putting the other team on the spot. However, you got to accept the risk that you might actually play those less often played maps. So I think TRINE is going to have the control there in their map choice of Chalet. And now we'll move on to the predictions. So far, looks like the community vote is actually pretty split, with TRINE barely being at top 53% and LNI at 47%. Now, personally, I think I'm going for TRINE Esports because, one, I know of their program, because I actually almost went to TRINE University, but ultimately picked out Bradley University. And I know that they've had an esports program that had scholarship support and everything for a pretty good time, for a while, several years. So I think that support that they have, and plus their performance in the past, is going to put them at top, in my opinion. Even though I think this is their first time playing in Midwest R6, I foresee them coming out strong and winning this game. However, yeah, that's going to be my opinion. Lucas, what do you think for this match? What do you think? Who do you think will be on top?
In all honesty, I got to disagree with you. I really think Illinois Orange is going to come out on top. I know they're a big college. They've got a huge esports program. I think with all the popularity, their, multiple branches, they're able to select kind of the best of the best, having, 20,000, 30,000 people that attend around, somewhere in that ballpark. I just really think that they can pick out the best of the best, and I think they'll get the edge on TRINE tonight.
Yeah, no, that is totally fair. Size always is going to play a big role, because you do need a large base of students to pick esports players from, because honestly, there's just not a large pool to work with. So always having a large pool will help you, because you got to filter out, your students who want to play esports, and then you got to filter out, okay, who is the varsity versus JV material, and that already are some very, very, very small numbers. Because even the people, well, you also got to remember as well, there's a lot of people that just straight up don't play video games still. I know that's crazy to say, but there's still a lot of people that really don't play video games much at all, even in our younger age bracket, which most college students are coming in. So yeah, having a bigger amount of students does help with that. However, I really don't think that's going to be enough. As like I said, TRINE University does have a scholarship program for esports, and I think that is going to make a massive difference because there is standardization standards and processes to see that they're making progress. They're coming to meetings and whatnot. There's a lot more accountability other than just the people that are in the club. If it's like a club based kind of thing, at least that's what I think.
I mean, the reason I go with size is because I went to high school over here in Iowa, third largest high school in Iowa. We joined Iowa High School Esports Association my senior year. So I was on the JV Rainbow Six team. Like I was, gold level player, but I was still on JV just because we had so many people. Um, one of my friends who's on the top team, he said something in it. I remember it sticking with me. He said, like, when they got into bracket place, the top 8 teams, he said we could wreck every team uh apart from 2 specific teams, pistols only, is what he said. And I think that really comes down to just the size of our school and how we had so many more people. Because like I believe our entire school encompassed just about 2,700, and for a high school that's relatively large, at least Iowa. So I really think that size is going to play a difference. Obviously, that remains to be seen. You got to watch the gameplay, see how the game plays out. But I really think the size is going to make the difference in this map.
Possibly. But like I said, keep in mind that TRINE also has that map control going into Chalet. We saw them get those more popular maps out of the way to kind of throttle Illinois' map ban choices who had to go for theme and whatnot. So even if, they might have just naturally more skilled players because of that larger pool to pick from, I do think that they are a bit at a disadvantage because it shows that, to me, it suggests that Illinois might just be going for more default strats. And one thing that I have seen is that if I had to pick between, a diamond 5 stack, just kind of running rank strats, versus a team with actual strats for a map, more often than not, the plat team with strats wins out versus a diamond team running rank strats. And you'd be surprised that, that to some people they might disagree, but from my experience, the plat team wins out every single time. And I have a feeling that is going to be the situation that we'll be seeing.
I think that it's also important to note that ranked is very different gameplay than Pro League. I think it's just I think that's just important to know. So just I mean this, of course, this is hypothetical with your situation. I just know that
Yeah.
because Pro League it generally tends to go more for those like strats for the map, whereas ranked is the default setup ranked strats. But I would definitely agree with you. I do believe that the plat team that has their own specific strats setups would probably win out in those situations.
Definitely. So, I mean, but ultimately, at the end of the day, this is qualifiers, so I don't think I don't believe there will be any team eliminations off of this. No, there will not be. So, I mean, even if one team loses over another, I feel like we will see these teams play again soon. At least going up specifically against each other, because like I said, I think both Illinois Orange and TRINE Esports have an edge over most of the teams that will be playing both tonight and in the future.
I look forward to some good gameplay tonight with the Twitter poll so evenly split. I'm hoping we have a very eventful, very fun, very intense game ahead of
Yeah.
us.
Now, I have a question for you, Lucas. So, do you think, site wise on defense, are we going to see more first floor in play, or are we going to see more second floor and basement? What do you think?
Um, I mean, I would say, let's see, depending on the site, that would definitely
Either
influence my
one.
decision. Let's say, all right, so let's say snowmobile garage. I feel like we're going to see a decent amount of indoor balcony as well as first floor play because there's quite a few angles you can get on the actual garage wall from first floor, like destroying that floor. Uh, whereas, when they're on second floor, I feel like a lot of it's going to be basement, especially if the other team decides to go for a full roam clear. I feel like I feel like playing multiple roamers on a different floor is going to be pretty crucial in stopping that.
Now, the only thing that I would be worried about when it comes to basement is just the fact that it is so easy to get all of the walls off on basement. And then if you get that fast enough, it is a nightmare to figure out where the execute is going to be coming from and then deal with it from there. That's been my experience with basement. So from what I've seen, basement does not come out as much. In fact, I've actually seen situations where a team will not play second basement or second floor almost at all, going almost entirely for first floor every time when the option is available to them. However, I'm kind of doubtful that is going to happen again with these two teams, but maybe it will. It's hard to say, but like I said, I remain relatively doubtful. But if we're going to see basement versus second floor, I feel like second floor may come up a bit more. However, attacking second floor, in my opinion, is much more streamlined than attacking basement because there's so many different walls you can take. So that's another thing to keep in mind.
I would say that as I've progressed through ranking and all that kind of stuff, I do see on Chalet, kitchen is actually quite a powerful site if you know how to hold it. So, and with the levels, the ranks of these players, I would say that that's definitely something we could. Uh, that's definitely something I would predict to see.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In my opinion, I don't think there will be a single site except maybe basement if the attack.
And we are underway.
All right, that is gonna. Oh. Sorry about that. And now we're gonna be on to the first match or the second match for the night. TRINE versus UIC Orge. TRINE going for the first ban. I predict we're gonna see Flores, and there is Flores. We're gonna see. Who do you think the second attack ban's gonna be? I'm actually a little.
Second attack ban. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like someone along the lines of
Thatcher.
Thatcher would definitely be a very good one. If they're planning to play Snowmobile Garage, especially, Thatcher would be a very good one. As for defense,
now that is an easy one. You ready? Azami Solis, done. I mean, it's been such a common combination. Flores with Osa or somebody else like Thatcher, and then Azami and Solis. And there's Azami.
There's the Azami, yeah. I would completely agree with you. And Solis is very good for intel denial, and that's something that the attackers are going to need if they want to have the advantage in this game.
Yeah.
So a Solis ban would be very, very predictable right now.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm curious how often Solis will be banned 6 Invitational. Oh,
And
look at
there
that.
it is.
100% band accuracy. All right, and it looks like they're going to be asking for one of the team players' names to actually be yelled, and I'll be LNI Oranges, which I will try my best to do that in a professional manner. But
And
that is an interesting name.
I will try not to. I'll try to do it, professionally and whatever, and hopefully not have my neighbors bang on my door asking why I'm so loud at 8:30 at night when, they're trying to get to sleep. Obviously, most college students stay up past then, but they're definitely feeling my floor that morning people get to bed early.
No, for sure, for sure. You get all kinds of different schedules as college students. That's honestly just the way it is. But yeah, we got some pretty interesting names from both teams. And like I said, definitely going crazy because it's not the snail that I'm thinking it is, but maybe it is. No. Yeah? Oh well. TRINE University going first floor bar gaming side. As I would discuss before, first floor is a very prominent and strong site. And now LNI Orange are going to be going for what looks to be a full front side, except for one. So that might be our Resolute Lurker.
So I've got a question for you. How do you think the extended barrel buff is going to play out in this game?
That's so hard to say. I mean, I think it's gonna have a lot of presence on high fire rate weapons, and for defense, but other than that, I'm not too sure. However, we're gonna see LNI Orange pushing up very rapidly onto Solarium, trying to get fast control above, and it doesn't look like there is too much over on Piano side. However, we do have one in Library, the Barb going down. Actually, one Mez, one Library. TRINE is going to be looking to get their defense way up over on this side of the map with many Momau over in Mezzanine and one in... Ooh, but we're going to see one get caught, and that is going to be the first pick for the game. A long line of sight into Blue Hall side, and now it is a 4v5. The flash is coming out, but one will be flashed, and will be flashed as well. TRINE has a very heavy setup with a lot of extension onto second floor, as that is pretty much LNI Orange's entire push at the moment, as everyone is currently second floor. Usually I'd be a little bit nervous to have that many above. However, it seems that's going to be working out. However, Marquini is holding below, and Kairos holding blue stairs, just in case they try to get that lurk push on the first floor, which I think is the right move. The nade comes in, but he's going to get caught. However, he's going to catch one at Kairos as he tries to rotate down blue stairs, and now with 55 seconds left, we see Doc rotate back, Marquini back on site as Snail takes Rob, and now with 48 seconds left, LNI Orange has the ability to get the vert, especially with Nanovirus still on the board, and Ibana as well, Lawyer, and that is going to be for a very clean execute. Cal Esports droning to see where they are, but there is nobody below, which is going to make things really difficult for those below. However, Squirrely Blind will catch Nail. Cal Esports taking Marquini, and now the hatch drop, and here comes the execute soon enough, but Cal Esports will catch Squirrely from, well, behind, and that will be the first round.
Already an exhilarating first round. I can't wait to see what the rest of the game brings.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was definitely a clean execute. The horizontal coming in really fast, chewing through that utility, not able to get much picks out of it, and now they will be looking to go bar gaming again. They're going to have to play a bit more aggressive off that utility, as LNI Orange just broke through all of it and didn't really get punished much at all. In fact, we didn't really see any picks coming out until right around execution from Doc, so...
That was it was very close to being a flawless round there by Illinois. So
yeah,
I think they really need to not necessarily change their setup, but just kind of change where they're playing, because I feel like a lot of what they did, or a lot of their setup, they weren't exactly holding as they should have, which is what allowed Illinois to complete that push and pick them all off when they weren't ready.
Yeah, no, got 100% agree there. And TRINE is going to be going to same side again to try to change things around. Nanovirus now on the Capital with Cal Esports on the sledge. Bit of adaptation in anticipation for TRINE going the same side again, which I think is a smart move, because keep in mind, Capital bolts do not get caught by ADS, however they do get caught by Moonmount, so it'll be interesting to see how that will change, how that will affect things as they go to get that library control. LI9 anticipating a push from, or some aggression from Library or from Piano, but it's just not there. Nanovirus gonna be holding on the repel, almost getting peaked, but does not. It's still gonna be holding alive. That bolt is gonna help to push out whoever is holding tucked in Library. The Hibana's already getting ready. That's the problem with going the same site with the same strat is that LI9 is now setting up even faster than they did before because it's just a repeat. But, however, this gives TRINE an opportunity to really change things up, to adapt, and to play off their strat better. But, I mean, it's still going to be a problem. All the Ramai's getting caught, and now here comes the nade onto blue stairs, but it will not catch as Kyrios will take no damage and still on top blue stairs. This could be a good opportunity to catch LNI Orange off guard, especially with the fact it's now down to 1 minute 15. However, Snail will take Mini Moonma, and that will be the first pick, but they still do not have above control. Marquini taking Cow Esports with, I'm sorry, the ACS?
The ace, that is a very interesting play here, especially for a team of this caliber. I don't usually see the ACS come out. I'm very curious to see how that will play an impact throughout the rest of this round.
Yeah, very risky pick, but it has worked so far, as we did see that pick there. Now Hatch is getting opened as LI9 has control from above. Hibana, Loyal taking serious damage from Squirrely, and now with 30 seconds left, LI9 Orange is gonna have to get an execute going soon, and Rob is holding blue stairs as well. The Nomad's gonna push Marquini, who will get taken out, and Rob just narrowly taking Nomad. However, it is a 1v3, and LI9 has control of site. Plant going down, and Rob will get caught by trying to rotate back up, who is over in Fireplace.
I gotta say, I feel like TRINE played that round better. I still don't think I mean, as the round showed, it still wasn't up to caliber as to what Illinois was playing. I do think that if they were to try a slightly different setup, they very much could excel on that site, but it seems they're switching sites in the hopes of winning a few more rounds. I'm curious to see how they will set up Kitchen, as there are certain specific setups that that I've seen. There's no a wrong setup to Kitchen, or very few wrong setups to Kitchen. What matters mostly is just how you play it and how you're going to hold everything. And I think with how those last few rounds have gone, them not necessarily holding what they needed to be, I'm not sure Kitchen was the play here. But of course, that remains to be seen.
No, 100% agree with pretty much everything you just said. That's the nice thing, but also thing it kind of sucks with first floor, is that first floor sites have a lot more option on where you can take from, but also the defense has way more options on how they go about holding it. So it's really about how you can funnel those pushes and how, you know, the attack breaks that down, which we will now see as LNI Orange will take from what looks to be Fireplace side. Yana already starting to push up into Office. That's going to be, but there will be a Mozzie Pest and someone in Piano watching for the drone. That will be Mini Moonma, who now has MX Storm, by the way, not using the ACS, as that unfortunately did not win them the round. Renegade getting broken out, and now Iana is gonna break the K9. Sledge pushing the blue hole, and the Iana clone coming in, but Rooney will catch it.
I do want to.
Cal Esports taking one pick already, Kairos, and that will be the first pick already.
I do want to say I think it's very beneficial that they now have that drone denial in Mozzie. I feel like droning was a huge part of Illinois' success. Now that they have that denial, it's going to be very interesting to see how Illinois decides to cope.
Yeah, and we even saw a Nitro as well, trying definitely seeing if they can step it up, but Cal Esports will take Marquini, and now he's already on site, and that is going to be a really bad situation for TRINE, as they're going to need to figure out how to push out Sledge, or at least prevent the Diffuser from walking in. But Lawyer will try to get the wall open. Mini, Moonmaw taking Nanovirus from the flank, and now it comes to the execute, but Squirrely will not be able to catch Lawyer as he will now start to plant, and now it is a 2v3 with Mini Moonmaw pushing up to kitchen hallway to try to stop the plant, but it is going to go down. However, Mini Moonmaw will catch it, but will get taken out from the rotate, and Cal Esports finishing off from the feed holes.
And
So
that
a
is
double kill.
and I think it's important to note that was a 4K by Cal Esports. He, with Sledge being one of those very reliable attackers, even though he's still a 1-speed, he still got into sight very quickly and was able to execute with realistically, at least to begin, with no backup before they had that wall open. So I think him playing that Sledge and just getting being able to get those early picks was very, very beneficial for Illinois.
Well, the fact that he even got in was already impact enough, as that just puts TRINE on the spot to do something about that presence that just really shouldn't be there. And then on top of getting the picks and allowing for the wall to get open, that is really not good. And yeah, TRINE just effectively let them walk in, which you cannot do that. That is... yeah, that's not the play, honestly.
Especially not on a map like this where there are just so many entry points to attack from.
And I will say, though, this is, for some reason, on Chalet first floor sites, that tends to happen a lot, where you just get one player that's able to walk in, and everything turns around from there. Yeah, I mean, it does happen on occasion. But like I said, it's always on Chalet, and I'll never really understand why it happens so often on this map. Just something about the compactness of it, I guess, and how many ways you can walk in. Cal Esports already trying to take library control. However, Rooney will be holding connector, Mozzie on blue stairs, and the drones are going to catch who are on site, and TRINE will have I believe two anchors this time around, which is going to help the LAR spotting mezzanine, and now Cal Esports starting to make that push onto library. Honestly, the pacing of Cal Esports' push is what makes him so deadly to TRINE, because he's always just so close up, ready to catch you off guard when you're least expecting it, but when it's already too late, and he's got the plan down. Minute left, and he's the only one in at the building at the moment, I believe, from LI9.
I really like seeing how he plays, how he just gets in so fast, because it forces TRINE to do something about him, in which case all of his teammates can come in, swarm, get those pinches, get those picks, and ultimately win the round. I do like how TRINE is now playing a few more anchors, because it seemed that sites weren't terribly well defended beforehand. As we saw last round, Cal was just basically able to walk into site. So
yeah. But honestly, I feel like this situation, this adaptation, is just playing it right into LNI's hands, as we'll get a nade kill, and that is going to be the first pick, and the wall is now going to start to get open. TRINE is going to have to play back to deny this take. However, we are going to see that Mini Mumao is still holding from closet side. However, Nanovirus is going to catch him right here, and now with Nanovirus on repel, has the ability to contest Alibi, who is effectively stuck. The wall going down, and Iana going to be holding from Fireplace, and that is going to be a potential plant situation. However, we will see the run out, and that's going to catch Nanovirus, who is still on the repel. Cal Esports taking Marquini. The execute going down. Cal Esports still basement, and there is going to be a Malusi that will catch him. 28 seconds left. Snail taking Rob, and it is now up to Mini Momao to win this out, as it is a 1v4, but he is stuck. Lawyer getting the plant down, and now he's going to have to figure something out to retake this, but Cal Esports will finish out any chance of a clutch attempt.
I know the Twitter poll said this would be pretty evenly split, but right now we're seeing absolute domination by Illinois.
Yeah, this is a blowout so far. 2 more rounds until the swap. They still have a chance to come back from this, but no matter what, how many rounds are going to be taken, this is going to be a rough situation, with Cal Esports going unbelievably ballistic. 9-1, an absolute menace with his positioning and with how he sets the pace.
And KD doesn't always win games, but it seems that nobody on TRINE is going positive at this point. Of course, with defense, honestly, I think Chalet is a little more defender-sided than it is attacker-sided. With the swap, we will most definitely see if they can attack. If they can attack Chalet a lot better than they can defend. But I think winning a few rounds on defense is absolutely crucial to success. And right now, it doesn't seem like TRINE is going to get those ever so crucial rounds that they will need.
And I would say that with respect to how how each of the sites kind of balance out, you definitely want to try to be taking your first floor sites, or, you know, if it's ranked, you know, taking your second floor basement, whatever. But this isn't ranked, this is competitive, this is Midwest R6, and yeah, you're going to want to try to take some defense rounds, especially those first floor, and they just have not been able to. Rob holding below from Car Garage is going to get spotted, and there's already one in Trench, and Rob's going to get taken out early by Nanovirus lurking on bottom Trench. And that is going to be a bit of control. However, there's another one holding Squirrely Bite who's going to get spotted as well. The bottom presence just not working out as Nock just running up to try to catch Squirrely, but will not, as he will start to rotate up main stairs. John pushing up further, but he is just gone. And now, already in kitchen, going to be getting ready for a swing real soon, but to sprint. Kyrios is going to hear that and will have the ability to swing it, but just doesn't. Still holding Dining Hallway. When you sprint, that means you think it's clear, or at least have some semblance of being clear, so I would have swung that, but either way, Kyrios is still alive and going to be kicking for the execute, which is going to be coming somewhat soon with 138 left. However, Nanovirus is going to catch Kyrios, and now it is down to a 2v5. Cow Esports takes Marquini, Mini Momau taking Squirrely taking Cow Esports, and now it's a 2v3. A rapid fire execute, and Laura going for the plant as LNI Orange actually has full control from second floor. The plant down, 42 seconds left. Laura taking Squirrely, Mini Momau getting the refrag onto Laura, but Snail will finish it out, and that is now the 5th round for LNI Orange.
I think that was the closest round we had. It looked like TRINE had a very real possibility of getting back into that after they got that double pick, but it just didn't work out for them. They weren't able to prevent the plant, and I think preventing the plant is something that they very much need to put a lot more effort, a lot more resources into, because every time Illinois has gotten down to the plant, and once the plant is down, the roles are effectively reversed. Attackers are on defense and defenders are on attack. And when and on Chalet, a very defender-sided map, you can't let the attackers go onto defense, because that's what's going to screw you over for the round. So it'll be interesting to see now this basement play, if they're able to prevent that plant effectively. Of course, that remains to be seen, but
I mean, they kind of have to go this side. They're out of options. They lost second floor in a rapid fire exchange of gunfire, but ultimately, Orange got the control, so ultimately it doesn't matter. All those trades mean nothing when you get the plant down. We've seen multiple plants at this point, and TRINE has never won back a single one of them, because at that point, it's already a 1vx situation, which is really bad. And we see that the wine hatch has not been reinforced, but it's actually going to be popped open. So they're going to go for a major extension into kitchen, which will definitely shake things up from a wine second garage standpoint. However, like I said, it is not looking good. The fact that you have to try to go to basement to get your first round, that's not encouraging, especially if they get a lot of those walls opened early on, with Snail already holding up to basement hallway door. Are they going to just try to walk in? I don't know, but we're seeing a lot of attempted wall bangs, pre-fires from Wine. However, none are going to connect. and there's still plenty of time left to start getting the walls open. And now Lawyer gonna be thatching the wall, but we're gonna see a trick. However, it's gonna be on the wrong side, and the wall will still go down. And now Lawyer running over to hit the second, as he knows Minimal Mouse not gonna be able to stop. And taking Kyrios now in a 4v5. The can be calm. Both of the walls being open. Roaming from above to clear out anyone who may be watching out, but there is no one there as TRINE has fully fallen back and are now onto site. Cal Esports throwing a nade, but will be caught. However, both will be refragging each other with nading from above to take Bob and Rob, and now it is a 3v4, and they're going to be starting to get that control. Liar looking to push up to plant, and he does, pre-firing a bit, and now is going for the plant, is going down on pillar. Squirrely trying to go up to take control, and he will take Nanovirus, Mini Moon Mount taken, and it is a 3v2 situation. Very winnable with the numbers as they currently stand. However, Squirrely will take one, and Marquini will finish it out, and that is going to be the first round for TRINE University Esports team.
I gotta say, with the amount of nades that Illinois are using, it's very interesting that they opted not to play the Jaeger on this site. I feel bad about saying this, but I feel like it was a little surprising that they won that, considering they didn't have that nade denial, because it seemed like Illinois really had the upper hand with those.
And then also too, with both the walls getting open, that's usually a pretty bad situation. However, despite that, TRINE played that retake very well, aggressing when they needed to, because that pillar plant can be really uncomfortable because how quickly you can whip around, and there's just so little time to, you know, pick off anyone who swings on a diffuser. So that definitely makes things a lot more challenging for the plants. Honestly, that's probably the best way to play is for the retake, in my opinion.
I think it's also important to note that I don't want to speak too soon, but it's very possible Illinois up 5-0. They got a little bit cocky, thought they could play a little more aggressive, but TRINE was still on their guard, and they knew how to defend against that, and that's ultimately what won them the round.
I definitely see a mental switch here, because if I had that kind of momentum, I would kind of have the feeling of being unstoppable and just kind of run it and gun it regardless. And yeah, I definitely could see that. That is very much a possibility. But however, regardless of what led to that round, the situation still stands. TRINE is really on the spot here as they are on attack, and they're going to have to win 6 rounds in a row if they hope to win this game. However, still has a castle that he needs to put down, and Nanovirus is still shotgunning. The setup is a little bit late. TRINE could definitely take advantage of this with proper intel and just bum rush the first floor and overwhelm site. However, they're going to be playing a bit more passive to push up from the horizontal library side, but they are moving pretty fast as there are still lines of sight being made from LI9 Orange, but seems like they've got it now. And Zofia will be breaking the castle, is going to start trying to push up onto office, where is holding from over in Master, and now TRINE has mezzanine control, and they're going to be able to just slowly push up more and more from there. And here comes the breach from Marquini, going to be popping the wall open, still holding Master bedroom to try to deny from the push that is inevitably coming with the massive head height lines of sight, but that could backfire as there is one K9 and one breach. It's gonna make things a lot harder to hold. However, Jaeger is gonna take a lot of damage, and the nade coming in, but it's gonna be timed perfectly to not only break the deployable shield, but to down Cal Esports as well. My gosh, what a nade! And now TRINE has got their first pick of the swap. Zofia rotating to Fireplace. However, is still holding Master side. This could be a serious problem for Post Plant, as he is holding his ground there, and Kyrios is starting to make his way over to help with the plant. And now the execute coming in. Taking serious damage from Piano. Gonna be rotating out to Master to try to contest above, but is just not having luck at the moment, as Kyrios is doing a good job to deny and make sure the plant goes down and that vert does not become an issue of contention. Oz gonna try to get a little bit aggressive to take one, but Frost is above as well. Gets down by Mini Moon Mao, and that is gonna be Nanovirus out. However, is still holding above. 30 seconds left. It is getting time for XQ, but Kyrios will take as well, and now they have full control above. 25 seconds left. Snail holding close to the bomb for the walk-in. And Lawyer holding Kitchen all the way. It is up to them to win this round. And Rob getting caught by a Frost Mat. Lawyer taking Mini Moon Mao. And now it is a 4v2. Marquini needs to get the plant down. Time is running out. Snail is going to catch one and is going to try to push up to deny. The plant taking another. However, the plant's going down, but Snail will catch the diffuser shortly after. And Rob is downed, and that's going to be a clutch. Are you kidding me? TRINE, what just happened? Oh, and the TK.
The disrespect right there. Oh
what
my
just
God.
happened? How did TRINE lose that? Talk to me. I'm shocked.
I think it was just a little bit of, what was it, 4v1, 3v1, a little bit of over-aggression on their part. I really think that's what... We saw that in the last round with Illinois. With Illinois, you know, going in with that kind of gusto, you know, we're 5-0, like, we can push this aggressive, and we should still be able to do this. I really think that with the 4v1, with the man advantage, they were like, okay, if we all just swarm, you know, we can do this. And then, you know, Illinois just pulled out their trump card, and we're like, you're over aggressive. We know how to defend against this.
Yeah, no, Snail's positioning really set a bad situation for TRINE, and yeah, I mean, they did kind of rush to plant as no one was really in position to get that plant down, and it doesn't seem like they knew. So it is a Snail I know. ISU gang. I was right. I was almost certain it was from ISU. But anyway, with besides that, I mean, yeah, the combination of not being in proper position for the post plant alongside Snail just holding that corner where TRINE wasn't expecting, yeah, that was not a good situation. They really kind of botched that by just saying, you know what, let's just go in, get this plant, get this round over with, and it was not over by any means. And now TRINE University in match point situation.
Especially with the plant going down, they didn't have anyone to defend. They had one guy in a frost mat, and everyone else was just getting picked off. So I think if they had someone to defend that plant, it could have very much been that round very much could have been won by TRINE. They just didn't play it as well as they probably should have.
Yeah, no, definitely Rob getting frost-matted when he did was seriously unfortunate timing. And Kyrios pushing up very far, already up to Library Mezzanine with Mini Moon Mao, trying to get that fast take onto first floor, which is where basement, I'm sorry, which is where LI9 Orange is going to be holding with the Cade to block the wall. And Avert already coming in very early on. However, Rob not catching the Cade charges yet. And yeah, now Snell even talking mid-round as the Cade to prevent the wall from getting open. Squirrely holding the feet holes from the kitchen extension. Could possibly catch one on this, as this is a pretty long angle, and that's going to be Frost and Oryx effectively cut off for the time being. However, Nanovirus also holding prone as well. We're going to see a possible prone fight here as TRINE is making a very main heavy side take. Marquini getting that main garage open. Cade now holding very aggressively up to trash can. That could be a very bad situation for whoever's outside breach. However, there is no one outside breach at the moment, so that positioning could be what they need once again, like last round, to win this out. Just Snail just being in just the right spot at just the right time with just not enough intel from TRINE. So this could be very good for them, and we will see some flashes coming in from main. Marquini pushing up Doesn't seem like he knows. Rob going for the plant, and there comes a swing from Snail, taking 2. And now it is a 3v4. Mini Moo taking damage. Curios taking, and it is a 3v3. Mini Moo still on site, but it's not going to be able to plant because he knows Snail is right around the corner. They need to get rid of him, but they have it, and the Nitro is going to take 2. Snail is going to kill 2 more. Are we going to see an ace from Snail? Good golly, 24 seconds left. Mini Moo now needs to make something happy, but he's going to get the ace to finish it out. And that is going to be GG with Snail holding the garbage position. 2 for the Nitro and 3 more kills to get an ace to finish out this game. Goodness.
What a play by Snail right there. With TRINE even playing the person outside the breach, playing the person connector, playing the person on stairs. They knew that Snail was there. They could have very easily gotten the pinch off and either traded or just picked him off completely. But they neglected to do that. And Snail was able to pull off the ace in that position. TRINE just could not cope with that.
That was absolutely insane. I mean, the fact that he's just able to hold that and get away with it, that is criminal. But I mean, he made it work. He had the shots. He had the Nitro. Everything needed to just hold that solo. Snail just really carrying out those last 2 rounds. That was unbelievable. Yeah, I'll admit, I'm 50-50 on my calls. I was right about Western Michigan, but I was very wrong about TRINE University winning this. I really did expect more rounds to come through, but that just did not, as LI9 Orange had the momentum that really TRINE just could not keep up with. Every time they would get trades, but it wouldn't come out with control on top, so it ultimately didn't matter. And Snail with his positioning, you know, that off-pick positioning to just cause so many issues towards the end, and that really is what finished them out. Super unfortunate. But I mean, a good try nevertheless.
I was just gonna say, TRINE's attack, their strategies, they weren't bad, but when they got in, they just weren't able to make those picks. They weren't able to make those plays. If they had picked off Snail, I'm almost certain that either of those 2 rounds that they were on attack would have went completely the other way. Because with the first one, the 4v1 or 3v1, because I guess one guy was in a frost mat.
Yeah.
If they had managed to pick off Snail earlier in the round, very much could have been a point for TRINE. On that last round, they had a man advantage, but Snail somehow was able to pull off the ace. And realistically, playing those trash cans, while very aggressive and a very good play that TRINE seemed to not expect, he also essentially cornered himself. But being able to cope with that and get all 5 picks with that as well, that's just mind-blowing. That's astonishing to me, just how well he played that and how badly TRINE did.
And, you know, and I will speak on that point of, you know, TRINE's coordination, because I do absolutely agree with that. If they had a bit better positional and intel coordination, I think a lot of the mishaps that we saw in this game could have been mostly, if not completely, prevented. However, that just did not come through. And like I said, that off-pick positioning did them in so dirty, unfortunately. But, you know, that's just how these games go. Sometimes all it takes is one person holding an off angle and everything just falls apart and it's a downward spiral as picks come out left and right. But ultimately, you're starting off with the pick disadvantage. So by the time the trades come out and everyone's gone, there's one person left out of the trades, and it's not you, since you're starting off losing one to an off angle. So, I mean, that's just sometimes how these things play out. That's why having that perfect intel is so vital in these matches. You got to be able to keep that going and be able to positionally coordinate yourself and not let these defenders get away with stuff like that.
I think I can safely say after this map, Chalet's going pretty far up on TRINE's ban list. Because I mean, it seemed like it was a good map. You know, it's a map everyone knows. It's not even, but relatively even. I mean, defenders do have a little bit of an advantage, but it always plays out, what site they pick, that kind of thing. But TRINE just losing that, 7-1, I just don't see them wanting to play that map very much in the future, especially with how there were a few of those rounds that they realistically very much should have won, and just you know throwing it in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, but I mean, also too, we gotta give Illinois Orange some major props though. They had great momentum. They were able to keep it going, winning out their gunfights more often than not, and they had some absolute behemoths like and Snail being able to really set the pace that Trine was not able to adapt to. So you got to give props to that as well. They played that pretty solidly. Not a lot to pick apart from their end. Their gameplay was just, at the end of the day, better. But that is the qualifier, so there's plenty of time for things to turn around. Trine is going to have some work going forward.
I think it's just very easy to see that communication wise, like we can't even hear their voice comms, but it's just so evident that Illinois has very good rapport. They're able to call out to each other. They're not saying things that don't impact the game. Like I've been trying to get on my team about, you know, give call outs, their health, if they're standing, crouching, proning, and cut the rest. Okay, we don't need the rest. And I feel like I feel like that with that our communication has improved. Illinois just seems to have so much of that solid communication. They're not, you know, they're able to give those call outs. They're able to play those strats, and I feel like they were able to make those specific strats work for them. Especially in the first few rounds with Cal Esports just kind of era of domination at the beginning, where he
Major
just
beginning player.
with a one speed, he just gets in so fast, creates the sound, but still is able to get the picks. And with that sound, everyone else is able to get into the map and just kind of wreak havoc all over.
Yeah.
It's very interesting gameplay, but I think it's a very good strategy, and obviously we saw it work here.
For sure. No, definitely going to have to agree with you there. Well, that is going to be our second game, everyone. Lucas, thank you for joining me as we now look to move on to our third map, which is going to be MU Marquette versus BGSU Varsity. Thank you, Lucas.
Yes, thanks for having me, and have a good night. I'm looking forward to this next game as just an observer. I'm sure we're going to see
Absolutely.
some great gameplay.
For sure. And with that being said, we're now going to be moving on to Image Break. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
proud partner of Midwest R6. Upgrade your FPS skills with. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are now on to Game 3, Marquette versus BGSU. I am now here with Platypus, and that he will be joining me for the last game. Platypus, how are you doing?
I am doing quite all right, Piercing. Looks like we're going to have a great game today. I know you've had 2 wonderful games to cast earlier today.
For sure.
Unfortunately, I was not able to see them for the most part, but I can only imagine it's been a good lead up to what we're about to see today.
Yeah, those 2 games have definitely been interesting, especially the TRINE game. That was not what I was expecting, the outcome. I really was expecting trying to pick up more rounds than that. Honestly, I thought they were going to win. I voted for them to win too. But hey, not everyone can be a perfect foreseer like I thought I was, apparently.
And I mean, that just goes to show putting on that impressive of a display on Chalet of all maps, it really just tells you what you're working with.
Yeah, no, for sure. Also, I just want to say real quick, I love the platypus in the background. That is
Thank
awesome.
you. I spent $20 on that.
Money well spent.
It's
All
a
right.
backpack, actually.
Yeah. Really? Interesting.
Yeah, there's like a little slot in the back. It really doesn't do much, but
Okay.
It's
something. All right. And now we'll move on to the teams. We will be playing Marquette versus BGSU Varsity. And now for the teams, starting off with BGSU. For the players, we are going to have Butters, Shaggy, Narok, Coffee. That is a very interesting way of saying coffee.
It's Boston.
And then Bandrews. What is up with the 2 letters? That's interesting. All right, and then for Marquette. We will have Toucan, Leaf 45, Ace, Mark, Frood, and Hattie. Frood.
I think Fred, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That
probably.
seems right.
Yeah, I'm probably reading that wrong. I do apologize, but yeah, we'll go Frood for now. Sounds like Trud, from God of War Ragnarok. But regardless, now let's move on to the map bans.
And would you guess it? Oregon.
The classic.
Every time.
Yep, every time. So, Platypus, tell me, what do you think of the ban patterns? Do you see anything here that catches your particular attention?
Well, the fact that we're going to Oregon basically shows me that there's not really any sort of precedence on an overly strategizing style of play and of like overly meticulous, because as you see with these types of maps, other than like skyscraper, like theme park, it's really hard to have maps that are uh more so played in a strategic manner when you're just running Oregon.
Yeah, honestly, it is pretty defaultish. I mean, we saw Bank and Skyscraper gotten rid of first. Those are usually like the most banned maps. And then Border Theme Park, second most common set of banned maps. And then we started getting to the popular maps, Cafe, Club, Villa, Chalet, to get to Oregon. So, yeah, it seems like we're going to see, it seems like that the amount of strats in this game aren't gonna be potentially as much, because usually when you have more pocket maps that you have control of, you're able to just avoid banning that map and force them, so you get the choice on what map you're going into. And the more maps, the more control that you have. That's why it's good to have strats on maps like Bank and Skyscraper, because it puts you in control of the map pool versus the other team. However, it doesn't look like either team trying to aggress onto that, as it collapsed onto Oregon, which honestly, with how some teams like to play super aggressive, I would even ban that just to target other teams, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, when it comes down to maps as standard as Oregon, it always really, the deciding factor is how disciplined you can play with, along with maps like Villa, Clubhouse, Chalet. It's all about how often you're able to make these strats work and how well you're able to keep to the strats that your team has come up with for you and specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hard agree. And also, thank you. I do like these shower curtains. They do keep me inspired for the streams. They're not shower curtains, by the way. They're like actual curtains with like little metal rings on top. It's so cute.
Pearson, you know what they call that?
What
A
do they call
shower
that?
curtain.
Okay. Moving swiftly on. I have a lot of them layered over the windows because I have to. All right.
Yeah.
And now for the community bands, it looks like we're gonna see a majority pick for Marquette. I'm also rooting for Marquette because I've seen them play. That's a team that I also have experience with. I've seen them. They're pretty good. BGSU I've played against as Bradley University Esports, and I don't know, maybe that's just us, but you know, we've never really had a too much of a problem in our fights against them. Marquette kind of sometimes being close, but so that's why I picked Marquette, because my experience with the teams, Marquette gave us more trouble in my opinion. Actually, fun fact, Bowling Green State University was actually one of the schools that I was thinking about going to, as well as TRINE University, but once again, BU is what came on top. But remember, everyone, if you want to vote on these community polls, every week, Midwest R6 posts the polls for which teams are going to be winning, the predictions over on Twitter. So head over to Twitter, Midwest R6, and you will be able to vote at the beginning of each week which teams you think will be winning. So that is definitely something to keep in mind, with the majority going to Marquette for the votes. But yeah, as far as the curtains go, the reason I've got, like, you can't see it, but there's like, it is layered on top of layer on top of layer, and I have to do that because of the fact that it is because of the light, right? For some reason my windows just love focusing light on this room, and it gets stupid bright. So I have to do that, so that way if I'm streaming like during the day or the afternoon, it doesn't affect my lighting quality. It stays consistent. That's pretty much how I keep that.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I noticed, Platypus, that you actually said that you think BGSU would win. Any particular reason why you voted that? Maybe you just like the school?
So I did a fun little game that I like to call Eeny Meeny Miny Mo.
Oh, I
So,
love that game. That's my
isn't it
favorite.
great?
It's
So I'm
awesome.
looking at these teams. I have no reference on either of these teams. So I figured, what better way to calm my nerves of this gut-wrenching and massive decision than to just pick randomly.
Hey,
But
I mean,
I
that's
am
fair.
quite happy with my BGSU pick because I can't tell you how much I love a good underdog.
That is true. It looks like not a lot of people are picking BGSU. So if any time is a time for an upset, it's gonna be now. So BGSU, if you want to upset, now is your chance, because everyone is currently saying Marquette is gonna be the winners. But like I said, there's always that possibility for, an upset. I mean, I was upset last game. I thought TRINE was gonna win. So anything is possible at this point. It's who's to say? I can say one thing and it goes the other way. But yeah, for some reason I can get 100% ban accuracy.
I
Well,
mean,
actually
well,
75%.
let's be real. Are these bands that are off the wall bands, or are these pretty typical styled bands?
See, I'm glad you pointed that out. Good attention to detail. Yes, they are pretty basic bans, so it's really not
I'm
that
gonna take
hard.
a
I'll give
wild
you
guess.
that.
I'm gonna take a wild guess. There was a Mira in there somewhere.
No, actually, there was
No,
not.
really? Okay,
In
all right.
fact, Mira has not been banned once
Azami?
so
Yeah,
far. Yeah, Zami and Solus has basically been
every game.
and yeah. I was actually talking with someone about this in the first game, but I actually was talking to a player who was previously CL, and he was explaining to me why he thinks Solus is actually not that strong, at least in comparison to Pulse. And he explains the problem with Solus comes down to the fact that you can bait her scanner so hard.
Oh,
You can't
So
bait a
easy.
pulse. A heart pulse is our heart pulse. You can't mistake that for a person, but you can mistake a diffused drop planting for the diffuser being dropped. Yeah,
On top
that's
of
right.
that, it's
Apparently,
just all about knowing the situation that you're in, because like how you're
yeah, for sure.
saying, the diffuser on the ground looks the exact same in terms of icon as the diffuser being planted. So
Exactly.
it really just comes to knowing the situation you're in, knowing that the Solus is on the board rather than the Pulse, and being able to predict and anticipate the play that they're going to bring out, as well as placing like claymores outside of doors. That's a strong use of Solus to be on the roam, being able to make these runouts with well-informed ideas on where these claymores are, where like air jabs may be from Nomad, and all these things. But on top of that, she falls immediately flat on these more mechanical devices, say like Osa, like Talon 8 shields, a sledge. You can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
So I feel like Paul still will reign the better pick, but it all comes down to the site and how you use them.
No, yeah, absolutely. It really does come down because that's the thing, Pulse, it's much more simple. It's just heartbeat, person is there, throw nitro,
Bada bing, bada boom.
and
That's it.
yeah, bada bing, bada boom. That's it. That's the done deal, right? That's the whole shtick. Well, also he's really good for determining where pushes are coming from, if they're rotating, blah blah
Mhm.
blah blah blah. Countering verts by just pre-firing where one's holding. But that's more advanced. I guess you could say
But on the
higher
opposite,
skill ceiling.
you could say the same about Solus, where she can see
Yeah.
these drones coming in before they even know she's on the board. You can have her off-site assisting various roamers using her spec, and just being able to see all of these drones through the walls, through
Hmm.
floors, all these breaching charges that attackers may have no idea that they're being watched and that they're being revealed this way. Because I
Yeah.
feel like, I can't say for certain, but I wanted to say that the goggles for Solus, sorry, extend just a little bit farther than Pulse's heartbeat scanner.
That's actually a really good question. I don't actually know who has the further
I
range.
feel like it's close.
It seems like it. It does seem like it. I've played both a little bit, and it does seem pretty close. I genuinely cannot tell. But then again, I'm still kind of inexperienced with Solus, so it's hard to say. But one thing that I think is unexplored potential with Solus, I think that Solus has a lot of potential in hiding pocket strats or rat strats. One problem with
True.
attacker repick now is that if you're on defense, right, and you have a warden and they want to go for a Ying rush plant and you bring warden, they see the warden, what do? They switch off that Ying immediately. They see, oh, there's a Mew. What do? They switch off the Floras, right? Instantly. But what if Solus denies the ability for them to even get that information? Those
That's so
pocket
true.
strats, that warden, that mute, and they keep the floors, they keep the Ying. You know what that does? That is an entire op effectively wasted, shut down. An entire play that's going to get shut down because they don't have that intel until later on when the ops are locked in and they don't have the chance to change it. That's why I think Mozzie is really good because I use him for that. I see a pocket trap. What's the first thing I'm doing is I'm finding that teammate and I am putting Mozzies everywhere they're trying to drone that person out so they can't figure out who that is
I
and
mean,
allowing that teammate to get that impact. That's what I
that's
think is unexplored potential.
that's so fair. And that's another great point you bring up for being able to counter drones. The thing about Solus, and especially for comp and all of these high like skilled teams, the way that they hide their drones is so important to them as an attacking team. And being able to have Solus, it puts a little bit more pressure on these attackers because, like, as you know, the drones don't show up on the scanner if they're not active. So having these attackers actively on these drones checking their entrances, the Solus can really figure out exactly where they're going to be putting these drones and where they're going to be pushing as a result. Because with comp, there's no wasted utility, or there shouldn't be any wasted utility. So
Agreed.
having these drones congregated around a certain side of the map, that's really telegraphing where this push is going to be coming from.
Absolutely. No, couldn't agree more. So, yeah, I mean, that's you guys heard it first, everyone. That's really the key to Solus. But for now, we're not going to be able to explore that too much in this realm, as Solus is being banned an unbelievably high amount for this season. So that's probably not going to change too much. All right, and it looks like we are now getting into game, and we will be moving to Oregon. All right,
Oregon.
Here we go. Hello, Oregon. MBGSU starts with the first band. Can anyone guess what this band is gonna be? That's right, folks. It's gonna be Flores. Did I see you, Thunder?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I took the words right out of your mouth. But I mean, come on,
No!
huh?
Oh my god. Really? That is.
Okay, I gotta say that is not what I expected.
All
right.
But I don't disagree with it either.
No, neither do I. Definitely not what I expected. BGSU coming out with a Dekebi ban off the bat, and a Maverick too. These have gotta be like target bans.
I can't disagree with that either.
These have got to be target bans. They're not bad bans. I'm not saying they're not, but Maverick is specifically targeted for a team that likes to bring Maverick to solo open the tower wall. And then you have Dekebi, who is effectively designed to help with the blue stairs push down into basement. Those have very specific uses. So I think we might be seeing target bans against each other. It seems like teams might have intel, and BGSU coming out with a Warden ban as well. BGSU coming with a very defined playstyle, which is not slow and methodical. It is fast and hard with Warden off the board. That's going to allow them to really, rush in with smokes, candelas, go for glass plants. But based off the spamming I just saw in our chat, that could also be a complete and utter accident. I have not a clue.
One interesting thing is each ban, I can see the direct reason for this ban. Is like each of these with Doke, that takes a lot of ability to get information after a defender goes down, and trying to track down these defenders. You can take all that information off the board by eliminating those phone calls, as we saw with Mav, like how you said, for the attic push. And then Mira and Warden, respectively, for the basement mirrors from the little closet looking towards laundry, and even possibly freezer, to Warden playing Shaiko, contesting the back tower and the bunker push. All these bans make sense.
Yeah, and it's not just like a generic, oh, let's just get rid of this ban. It's like it is targeted for a specific playstyle that they don't want to deal with, which honestly I love to see. I wish bans were more like that, and honestly, because that's exactly how it should be. That's the way that they were designed. And one thing I want to note as well, BGSU has went meeting first floor as their first site. Do you see that very often? Because that is kind of a first for me.
It's definitely not one of the most frequent plays. However, if they're running it, I feel like they know what they're doing, or at least have an idea of what they want to accomplish here. So especially with using their bans to help them on their specific needs as a team, I feel like they know what they're doing. However, It looks like Butters is able to pick up Ace, which is almost even more so cementing that fact that they have this under control. They have them on the roam. They're in a good spot already.
Yep. However, Hot Hattie already Amaruing into rear stage to try to get that early control. Leaf taking the Lion scan as well. However, BGSU is just holding tight and comfortable, as Marquette does not really have much control at the moment. However, Coffee from BGSU will swing over and take Toucan, and that's going to be the hard breach effectively out, and they have no way to open up sight. That is going to be a really bad situation for Marquette, as they're going to have to figure out how they're going to force their way in. Hottie taking some damage, but will take Bandaroos out, and now it is a 4v3. Solus is going to swing to take Hattie for the refrag. Double kill, 4v2. Some flashes coming out, or was that flashes? I don't know, but it is a 4v2, and now Lion trying to get active. Leaf pushing up to the kitchen corridor, holding right outside, meeting with Thatcher. They're gonna have a potential pinch. Leaf taking Shaggy, and now all the utilities off. Fraud taking some damage from the tower stairs, and Oryx will take it, taking Fruit out, and now it is down to a 3v1. Leaf still holding over by meeting, but based off the pick, they know where he's at, and the diffuser down on rear stage. This is not a good situation. The smoke's already coming out a little bit early, and that's going to be the first canister, and Coffee pushes up, eliminating Leaf, and that will be the first round for BGSU, meeting first floor.
What I tell you, they had it under control. They knew what they were doing.
Got that right. Goodness gravy. What a start to the BO3. You know, they said that that the second game was gonna be the one that was gonna be the most exciting, but honestly, I think it's this one. That was not what I expected.
I mean, that is so fair. And as we've already seen by BGSU, they're already putting this early lead, of course. However, they're able to get that early man advantage on the roam, and only one of their roamers being taken out overall, which is a pretty big deal considering. But we saw Marquette pushing often, aside from the Lion and Thatcher. We saw a lot of them pushing alone, which is not typically ever really what you want to do unless you can get some sort of pinch or force into a cross. However, it didn't seem to work out for him, so I think BGSU just, not to say lucked out, but had the better positioning and had the better setup to deal with them.
Yeah, no, definitely. I gotta agree with you there, and that's, yeah. And here's the thing too as well. Even though BGSU got rear stage, or I'm sorry, Marquette got that rear stage control, it cost them heavy. They lost their ace, which meant that they did not have the ability to breach open and try to get some kind of smoke plant going into meeting. So that's kind of what killed it for them, was not having that breach. That made contesting attic really difficult, where Butters took that, and it also made taking rear stage really difficult, as they just got funneled out. And now we're going to see already a Gone 6 out onto the bottom right window. Jaeger holding close in the hall, gonna spot out and try to take some damage onto Zero, but it's not gonna go through. Smoke canister already going out. Shaggy taking heavy damage. We're already seeing some heavy gunfighting this early on, but no picks quite yet.
Very interesting to see that they weren't able to lock down Shaggy as they had White window. They got a little bit of damage on him, but even pushing from White and oh, dang, it looks like Butters is able to pick up Leaf in the meantime as well. Put this into a 5v4 with 2 minutes left. That's a good kill already. There are still some roamers out by BGSU, so it looks like Marquette's going to have to really do something about that. And they're moving around, trekking these floors for vertical angles, looking for anyone. It looks like Oryx is going to be peeking, is going to pick up one. Another's going out, and Hattie gets the refrag as well, putting it into a 4v2. Minute and a half remaining, trying to do anything they can. Marquette's still in man disadvantage now, with the majority of BGSU on site, and they've got they got Hattie as well, put into a 4v1. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, there's really not a lot that you can do. I mean, you're so split, and you spotted the Jaeger but didn't even cut him off, and then push up and already get taken by the Solus, who is now bottom white, finishing it out for BGSU. Yeah, call that timeout, because BGSU is just on a momentous tear at the moment. Good Lord. Yeah, they just... What are you going to do there? I mean, we saw the split push. Hattie trying to make something happen rear stage, seeing the wall completely reinforced with the Cade, goes back down, gets picked, and then we still have one outside on Marquette, and then gets swung by the Solus. There's really not a lot that you can do there. Marquette, and honestly, good move on BGSU to fall back with a minute 30 seconds left back on the site. That's what you want to do. When you have that man advantage and you've drained the time, generally after a minute 30 seconds, as a rule of thumb, that's when defenders need to start coming back. They did their damage. They took a huge man advantage, and they fell back and then finished it out. That position is exactly what you want to do to prevent a retake. So good on them for BGSU, but I hope Marquette made good use of this timeout, because they need to figure something out, as BGSU has just massive momentum right now. They are really feeling themselves, and you can see it from how these picks are flying.
And I mean, as you even saw, like you were saying, with them rotating back to site, Shaggy was taking some damage and was able to get back and get out of dodge there, while the majority of BGSU was still able to hang out and hang out on the roam, get some picks. Literally one roamer falling off for them did not like ruin their reach of the map whatsoever. And I don't think Marquette was really prepared for that.
Yep, and that's the thing you got to keep in mind. Every time you take a pick, you always have to think, right, when you get a refrag, what are we gaining out of this? Because if you're not really gaining any control, then at that point, the only thing that you're gaining is nothing, but rather losing attacker utility. This is what I mean when it comes to refragging. You have to keep in mind, what is it accomplishing? And this is why refragging roamers kind of sucks, because you don't really get, typically you're not getting control. All you're doing is just weakening that roamer presence. And weakening roamer presence does not translate to control. That's why entries are so important to deal with roamers, because entries typically have utility that is not going to be as essential to execution as hard breachers when it comes to later on in the round. Early rounds, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but later on in the round, you need specific types of utility.
Right. It just goes for attrition at that point, because basically for a defender roaming on that type of thing, you have nothing but like kills and things to gain. And I say that as Banjus picks up Frud, and like I said, nothing but kills and advantages to gain there. He was able to take out Fred without any trouble whatsoever, was able to get him through the small tower window, and now they're able to play just a tad bit more aggressive with the Thatcher off the board. That's going to make breaching a ton harder for the Thermite. They might be able to get something going from up top, but we're not going to worry about breaching whatsoever as Banjus takes out Thermite with a cleverly placed C4. He was already anticipating that Thermite exothermic charge coming out above to try and get that wall open, and he told them no.
They lost a fuser too, so now they're in a really bad spot because they have to get that small tower control first floor, which they're already struggling with, and then push all the way up in order to grab the fuser. And look at this, Nock and Oryx playing so dangerously close to each other as Oryx is on a deep roam and Leaf is trying to catch one, and now Ace taking banners, and here comes the swing, and Leaf is gonna finish out Narok and catch him. And now the numbers are evened out 3v3. Hottie trying to take Jaeger from Showers. And now with a minute left, Shaggy kind of stuck. And now the concussion is going to be coming out potentially soon. However, Hottie will take a little bit of damage. Butters taking Leaf for the trade. And now it is a 3v2. However, Hattie will take Butters. Ace taking Shaggy. And now it's a 1v1 between Smoke and Zofia. But keep in mind, 45 seconds left, 1v1, and Zofia does not have the fuser. Her only option at this point is to either back Smoke off far enough to grab the fuser, or to gunfight the Smoke. However, she's going to hear the drop, and now is going to inch ever so closer, but she's not watching the right way, and Coffee will take Ace with the SMG-11. And that is going to be a close round for Marquette, but it will go for BGSU instead.
That was beautifully played by BGSU for all the way from Banjus getting those two early and very powerful kills to Shaggy in Showers, being able to hold his own against overwhelming force, and all the way up till Coffee being able to play that smoke on that freezer stairs. And not only that, he had the time, he also had two smoke toxic babes in his pocket that he could have used at any time with those 40 seconds. So there was really no way he could have lost that, assuming he played it well enough. And he played it definitely well enough.
No, and I agree. And that's the thing that really put Zofia in a bad spot, is that even if she forced it, if Smoke wouldn't just play passive and just keep playing ring around the Rosie, run around the map, Zofia has no option but to chase. Because what's going to happen if she runs back to get diffuser, sprint, because she has to, because she's now a one armor, I believe. Smoke's just going to go back to site. And what is he going to do when Zofia tries to push and execute? He's going to throw two canisters. With 40 seconds left, by the time she grabbed it, it'd be 20 seconds. Smoke canisters are coming up, and Zofia is just absolutely screwed. So, yeah, she had to push him. And honestly, he didn't have to play aggressive and swing the door. He could have just played ring around the Rosie, and it would not have mattered. He still would have won.
So now I'm looking at this here. The Smoke playing elbow with Jaeger. That's a very interestingly shallow shield hold, because normally when you see a Smoke playing elbow, they're playing very deep back. They got the couple ADSs on that brick wall, but instead we're gonna have Jaeger playing very close on this bunker wall. Two ADSs on his
Actually,
side.
three.
Oh yeah, 2 on Jaeger's side and 1 additional for the smoke shield, which is a very aggressive style. We already see the Flores Arteo drones going out, trying to punch this barbed wire, trying to get anything going on with the Arteo drones, trying to take out this utility, but they're just not letting it happen. Jaeger and Smoke are both playing this very aggressively and very diligently to make sure that this bunker push just does not exist. So I imagine it's going to be a very big priority for Marquette to be able to figure that out and move on to a different form of attack to be able to catch BGSU off guard.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to note as well is that Hibana is now getting the meeting hatch, and Laundry side is completely vacant. If they could spot that and rotate over, that would be such a bad situation. And Banderos is going to take one knock, catching Hattie from above on the attic holes. Marquette just not noticing that till it's too late. And now already 1 minute 30 seconds, Romer's going to be falling back. And it is a 5v3. Zofia holding blue stairs with Butters over on pillar. However, I believe Zoe still has her concussion, which can make things really difficult. But Shaggy and Coffee have bunker under control, so Butters is pretty safe as long as someone covers for the walk-up. And now we have Toucan over on pillar now with Butters almost taking a headshot, but not going to be able to see one. Almost getting a headshot, Toucan. However, they're just going to be playing, you know, toesies pretty much, except instead of toes, it's heads. And now we will see a Rooney Butters start to fall back towards the back end. A pillar, double concussion coming out. Leaf 45 going for a Laundry top side flank. That could be huge as there's really no one Laundry side. However,
this is where the issue is. This is where the issue is. They're running out of time now.
Yeah, they are.
They're wanting to run that flank, but they've run out of time and split themselves so heavily that now it's a 4v1. One of them's not even on site. And what can they do? BGSU is just very dominantly running the floor here. They absolutely stalled Marquette for the majority of that round. As soon as they realized bunker was not an option, Marquette fell apart. And they were not able to recover. They tried throwing it down backstairs. They tried getting a flank around for Laundry, and I even think they tried a little bit over for Freezer. They got the hatches, and they were shut down by Oryx above. They didn't bother to go and clear him. They didn't even want to waste the time on it. Instead, they just stalled on the stairs.
Yeah, no, that is a really good point to make. They effectively just ignored Oryx and Valkyrie, who were above, and when they came down, hellfire rained upon them as they lost life after life, effectively shutting down the push before there was even one. As like you said, Hibana and Zofia just stalling on blue stairs and still getting picked from there, as Oryx was still above. Narak taking Zoe as well, Ace, and that pretty much just marked the end of the round. There really wasn't even much to talk about because, yeah, Marquette just did not play that right.
And what's even more interesting is Bandrews has had the first kill of the round 2 times in a row, and he's been on Kaid both times. He's going for a 3rd round here on the spawn peak. Unfortunately, no one of Marquette is going to be spawning on that street side, so he's not going to get the chance. However, he's playing that aggressive, and he's playing it well, and that is crazy for not only a 3 armor, like hard anchor of an op, but just the fact that he is so deep into sight and no one is going down around him until he decides to make the move is just wild.
That aggression is playing out very well, especially to run out that time that Marquette just cannot seem to play ball with. BGSU, remember, attackers set the pace, but BGSU is still saying, no, we're going to set the pace, at least for this game. And now Zofia on her own, trying to roam clear with no intel. What is going on here? I would not be doing that with how these rounds have gone down. But unfortunately, there is no one around where she is, so she'll be alive. However, actually, as I say that, Butters is now going to be over in Z-Hall, take both of the Claymores. And now Zofia is forced into a 1v1, and Ace will lose that. Butters taking that. No refrag, so no control, and you lose a teammate. That's the good move.
I feel, honestly, that is just poor siege playing by Marquette. They put their... Oh, and there's like Coffee is able to pick up front as well. However, I feel like that's just poor playing by Marquette. They're not doing a great job at keeping their team together. And while, as I say that, the entirety of Marquette just falls apart by the seams. BGSU is quite literally tearing them apart piece by piece, moment by moment, and Marquette is not able to do anything about it. Butters is leading here with 8-1. He's died one time in the last 5 rounds, same with Coffee, and the rest of BGSU not even far behind. We're seeing a lot of issues here with the way that Marquette is playing, and they're not doing anything to fix the problems. They took their time out, and as you know, with an 80% the 80% usual win rate of the following round after a timeout, it wasn't there. BGSU said no.
Yeah, and then I can really pin down the entirety of Marquette's situation with this one phrase: stop forcing solo gunfights. We saw every single one of those, a solo gunfight. All of them lost. Someone on the refrag, so at least the numbers aren't even, but no. You just want to have people running around, no drones, and forcing these 1v1s, and it's not working. Just stop. This is your last chance to fix this before you have to win 6 rounds in a row in order to just go into overtime. If any time is the time to fix that, it was timeout, but we're past that, and it's 5-0, so now it's this moment right here.
And despite it being this moment, BGSU is taking all of that momentum and all of the stuff they now know about Marquette, having seen them multiple times face checking, which is never a good idea. However, it's still being done either way, but with Marquette face checking these angles and really going solo lone wolf, with Frud hurting himself by falling the majority of tower. Not very great on there. And Butters picking up another kill to even more so force the fact that BGSU is not someone to be trifled with. Marquette finally looking like they're playing somewhat together with this whole tower take, but is it too late?
Well, I don't know, but Butters took some heavy damage, and Coffee gets a 9 kill on Toucan and an SMG level kill on Hattie. I guess it just doesn't matter even if they stack up, because Coffee just got a double kill with an SMG 11. Now I really don't know what to say. Maybe that's just not the problem. Maybe it's just a team diff at this point. Who knows? What I do know is it is now 5v2, and Marquette has not really gotten any building presence other than rear stage 2. And there's already one on the way to try to flank that. Oryx and Smoke holding close rear stage. Butters holding attic very aggressively. 2 concussions, and Zofia hops in. Butters trying to rotate out, and he gets away! And Ace is gonna take damage, but Fraud as Nomad is gonna catch him from trophy side. You really had me scared there, Marquette, making me think Butters was just gonna get away when he wasn't even really watching, more focused on getting out of there. Smoke just sitting right on top of the fuser with 50 seconds left. It's going to be a long journey, Marquette, to get that fuser back. Narak taking some heavy damage, and they don't even have the ability to open the wall to contest from rear stage. And now the smoke canister is starting to come out in case Ace goes for a hat drop, but there is a cross, and Fruit is gonna get downed as he tries to take a solo fight with Bandrews. You gotta stick close to your teammate. Yep, it was exactly that. And that is gonna be BGSU's 6th round as we go to the swap.
So, I can't even tell you the look of shock in my face as I saw Butters slowly slink off through the rotate into kid bedroom. And I almost could not believe it. If he would have gotten away with that and simply walked off without the Nomad being there to catch him, I would have lost it.
I would have lost it too. How do you let that happen? This is really, it's like one of those things where it's like you're not surprised, but also, is this really happening right now? it's that duality of man when it comes to a blowout. You're just like, I can't believe it's a blowout, but also too, with this pacing, what do I expect? And now Marquette is gonna be on defense. Maybe that's not gonna be a blowout, but I don't know. Banders is on the Ying, Narak on the Fink. If they're gonna be just rushing every round, Marquette is really gonna be fighting to get this to overtime.
I'll tell you what, Piercing. I love a good underdog story. I am sitting pretty comfy in my predictions. However, it looks like Marquette is going to try to make something work. However possibly futile it might be, I do believe in the now underdogs of Marquette that they can make something work. They have the ability to turn it around on defense. Despite the big task they have, they now no longer have to worry about droning, which is fortunate for them. However, they do now, on the inverse, have to worry about BGSU droning and using their utility correctly to force them out, as Butters is looking to do right now. He already knows that someone is going to be playing nearby, whether he knows that someone's in a kitchen or in security, respectively, already. It's unsure. But Toucan is going to pick out Bandrews, which is going to put this into a disadvantage, evened out immediately, and flipped on its head by BGSU. Both Butters getting a kill on to, for Fred as well, putting this for the 4v3. BGSU now in a big advantage with this being match point, and Marquette, I can only imagine they're a little stressed.
Stressed is definitely the way to put it, and now here comes the rush train. Narak, Shaggy, and Butters now pushing their way down Freezer stairs. The Ash charge coming out. I really don't know what they're gonna do to adapt, as Narak still has one more Finka charge remaining, and now the hatch getting popped open from security. A minute 15 left. BGSU has plenty of time with the man advantage. One smoke already being thrown out, and that's gonna block off the head-eye holes as they just spearhead in. Rooney trying to pre-fire through the smoke to catch someone, but it's not gonna see success. First nade out will not connect, and now I think we're gonna see a second nade in just a second from Giannis. Butter still has one in pocket. Thorn watching the laundry side as we do see two, and now laundry double is open. Ace taking heavy damage. There comes the flash. Hottie trying to take a pick, but is not going to be able to, and has to back up out of closet. Ace still over bunker side.
Oh, there's go. There you go. Now they're pushing it back. They put it into a 1v2 with 3 kills in their favor, putting Shaggy all alone. They immediately flipped the amount of angles that they had to hold and were able to push it into BGSU's face, putting it into a 1v1. Now all on Shaggy. He has low health, but so does Ace. He has defuse, and it doesn't look like Ace is going to be in a position to throw a toxic canister to do anything. Shaggy's going to have all the time in the world. He's going to get this plant down, but is he going to be able to make it? Ace does, and he's going to finally be able to take a Marquette win for their team.
And that will be the first round. I'm going to be honest, I was very nervous there. I thought Ace was gonna low-key throw that by playing too passive and letting the plant go down, but he did manage to push up last second right as Shaggy tried to get the plant down. So I will give him that. That timing was a bit there, but he had me worried when the XQ was going out and he was just sitting, you know, or kind of running around in bunkers. Like, I don't know where you'd want to situate in that scenario, but I don't think bunkers is the correct answer if I'm being a little bit speculative there. However, now that is the first round, and Marquette has an opportunity to take this back, potentially.
I feel like the only thing I can really nitpick there is for BGSU. They had a good amount of advantage. They pushed Marquette back quite a bit, with the only player that was like actively posing a main threat was Aruni sitting in Freezer. They had the ability to flush her out both from the head holes from Laundry and from Freezer itself. All they had to do was get a little bit of utility, maybe some drones, to take an educated gunfight, and then they have that entire side of the map and can completely shut down Marquette. However, Marquette playing on the literal precipice of just a fantasy right now, doing whatever they can. They're basically, this is like a storybook thing for them. trying to get this movie ending. However,
Yeah.
it might work out for him. I'm not counting him out just yet. If BGSU can put up 6 in a row, I feel like
mean
Marquette
Marquette?
has the ability to.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. I thought you meant, like, Marquette has to get 6. I was like, you mean 5?
I mean, I'm not saying no to that either. It's still a tall order.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, hey, Capetta is full of taller. Are you kidding me? And BGSU already repelling in Butters. And now it doesn't seem like Butters has any. Oh! The wall bang! No!
And there's the second.
Butters
Wow.
getting the second pick! Are you kidding? What? Oh my gosh, the wall bang! And he somehow wins that gunfight against Jaeger Leaf. You have to take that! No way! And now we have Nutrock lurking below, and Marquette is not looking good for a storytelling comeback, as it is already a 5v3 with not even a minute in the round. Well, now a minute and 15, but the point still stands. This is not looking good.
Well, I mean, Butter's doing a fantastic job showing exactly why he's the entry, putting his 4th entry kill on the board. He's been in the building, or rather able to intercept the attackers for the majority of it, and now get into the building very heavily to get these entry kills. And Shaggy's going to pick up Toucan as well, putting this into 5v2. Again, BGSU has the man advantage. They have this 5v2 with the defenders all split, now in a 5v1 with Hattie all alone. They have this in the bag as long as they play it right. But Hattie's going to pick up 1. He's going to look for a second. Nearly is taken out by an angle being held from Green. Peeks him, grabs him, looking for a 3rd. He's going to go for it. He's not going to see Butters. And Butters is going to take that with 13 kills for BGSU.
What an absolute machine! Gunner taking the repel in, getting the wall bang, getting that great pick, and then finishing it out, shutting down Alibi before she can really dig in on the retake. My goodness, what a blowout. I'm gonna say it, that was a blowout. So I have a 33% prediction chance. You know, I was really confident on 2 out of 3 of those picks, and it just so happens the one pick that I was the least confident about was the one I get right. Would you look at that?
I mean, I just guessed. I had my eeny, meeny, miny, mo mentality, and it has done nothing but surprise and surpass my expectations. But even so, I could never have predicted this. BGSU able to absolutely run the floor with Marquette, taking all of their defensive rounds, and then on top of that, able to shut down Marquette before they even get a 2nd round win on their defense, and a very dominant match point win as well, with them putting it into a 5v1, where Hattie then has to try to throw it to a 3v1, and basically on an island for the most part. He didn't seem to have any intel about what was going on. It didn't seem like teammates had too many calls other than the obvious of the fact that they were swarmed in sight. And at that point, you can only assume that as a smart player, you can just kind of guesstimate where these attackers are going to be lying in wait.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'd agree. And Marquette, man, they took their solo gunfights. You can't do that. I mean, granted, yes, the other team played super, super well there. You know, BGSU just being able to win out their 1s. But if you know they're going to win their 1s, then why would you keep forcing it? You can't do that. I mean, that was a major problem that I had back when I played with, you know, BU Esports, is when I got tilted, you know what I did? I started taking 1s, and naturally, you know what happens when you take a 1 with no intel? That's right, you die. A lot. That's why it's a mental issue when you do that, because you're basically saying, hey, I want to effectively throw my life away without getting anything out of it, just for the chance to kill someone right out the gate. And that's not the right approach, especially when it's your whole team doing it.
And I mean, you say that, and I feel like that makes a lot of help with BGSU getting stuck with Oregon because of this. Like I said, okay, so like let me frame this for a second. Would you rather take the aggressive team that wants to peek everything without info to a map that is super strat heavy, and if a team plays very overly aggressive for anything that falls apart, say a theme park? Or would you rather Oregon, where it is all about the discipline and tightness of your setup, your strategically set up team for your team specifically, mind you, and no matter really how aggressive you play it, it comes down to the discipline of how much you've played this map to
You
be
know,
able to take it.
and honestly, seeing how the teams played this out, I gotta agree with you. Had I had that foresight, I honestly would have said that this would be the better map to take it to. But I mean, yeah, like I said, or like you said, BGSU just being so much more disciplined in their gameplay. They're playing off of each other and actually taking the time to cover things and get the right setup that ultimately Marquette just did not have, and that will be the game for them.
On
But
top of
I
that,
mean, I think everything that we need to say about why that game came to be the way it did has been said. I mean, wouldn't you say the same?
I would say so. The only thing I would add to that is I feel like BGSU, over the majority of the way they were playing, they were simply just the more informed side. They were able to take well-informed gunfights and
Way
without
more drones.
playing overly risky. Um, the only things I would say is as they built their lead, they got slightly more careless, but they had the leeway to do so. They were playing loose, they were playing free, and that just you could tell it helps.
It does. It absolutely does. Well, I think that is gonna be it for me because yeah, the more I think about the blowouts that we've had today, the more my head starts to hurt because I can't believe it. If BGSU keeps this momentum up going forward past the qualifiers, this like BGSU is going to be a top dog, not an underdog like we saw in the community poll. I'm talking top dog. They're going to be dominating in these leagues. I mean, goodness. Other than the little bit of carelessness, but who cares? You won every single defense round. Yeah, you kind of deserve to take a little victory lap with a Ying and a frickin' with Rock on Finka running down freezer stands. You might as well take a little victory lap, especially if in the situation you won that, which they didn't, but it didn't matter. They followed up immediately after. So, yeah, BGSU to the players, I'm going to be keeping an eye on you because of all the teams here, your sweep was the most violent. So, I am interested to see how that will go in the future. But I'm also interested in how Michigan West will be playing in the future as well. Even though that was a bit more balanced performance-wise, they did play pretty well. So, yeah, those are going to be the teams that I will be 100%. Actually, no. You know what? I lied. Not so much Michigan West. I'm going to say LI Orange. They were much they're I don't know, the way they played seemed much more skilled and coordinated, especially with the setups on Chalet. I got my eye on them as especially, but I do want to see how TRINE comes up because like I said, they have a special place in my heart because I almost picked them for going to college. So I am curious to see how their program works out, and honestly, regardless, I wish all the teams best of luck. Platypus, do you have anything else for us?
All I gotta say is, moral of the story: don't base where you're going on college off of their pro teams.
Yep, I think that's a pretty fair point. All kinds of different colleges for all kinds of different needs. Well, that's gonna be it for me, everyone. Thank you so much for watching the stream. That is Piercing R6 on Twitter and Platypus as well. Thank you, everyone. And honestly, hope you guys all have a good night, and we will see you on Sunday as we do our post-action report.
I I need a scarecrow after what you did, 'cause all of the birds know that I'm almost dead. I'm barely breathing, I'm barely awake. You left me in pieces, there's no more to break. Don't wake me up, not in this century. Don't wake me up, 'cause you're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost, you're never there. You're just a memory on my lips, 'cause you're just a ghost inside my head. I need an angel after what you did, 'cause you were the devil, you messed with my head. You lied to my mother, you lied to my friends. You said that you'd be there, that this never ends. Don't wake me up, not in this century. Don't wake me up, 'cause you're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost, you're never there. You're just a memory on my lips, 'cause you're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost inside my head. You're just a ghost, you're never there.